As we embark on this evening's journey together, I invite you to open your heart, settle into the place where you sleep. Let the room breathe with you. The lamp gives a soft glow. The blanket rests like a gentle hand. I speak now as one who reads aloud for the sake of calm. My voice moves slow. My words come like steps across a quiet floor. Close your eyes if you wish. Rest your hands at your sides or across your chest. Notice the weight of your body on the mattress. Feel the familiar rise and fall of breath. Breathe in slowly. Hold for a gentle count. Exhale with a quiet surrender. Each breath becomes a small rhythm. Each rhythm leads to ease. The evening has a way of collecting small worries. Let them sit at the edges. They do not need to be solved tonight. They can be set down like worn shoes at the door. For this time, allow the mind to soften. Allow the heart to unclench. The words I choose will move like soft light across a room. They will not demand. They will offer. I will read passages that have rested many lives. They bring assurance, mercy, and quiet hope. I avoid heavy debate and tight explanations. Instead, I give the gentle picture of a presence that watches and tends. The words point toward comfort. They remind us that we do not walk alone through the quiet hours. Imagine a slow river under a low sun. The water moves without rush. Trees bend toward it without strain. In the same way, let your thoughts find a gentle current. Let them travel without force. If a worry comes, notice it. Place it on the river's surface. Watch it move away. You do not need to chase after it. Tonight I read with the simple aim of bringing rest. I speak plainly. I do not use lofty language that trips the ear. I keep sentences short and clear so they land easily. Picture a small lamp placed on a bedside table. Its light is narrow and warm. It does not seek to burn away the dark. It allows the dark to soften into a friendly shade. That is the tone I hold. Think of the Bible not as a locked chest, but as a lamp and a well. The lamp offers a steady step. The well offers cool water for a tired throat. I guide the reading toward passages that cradle the soul. Images of shelter and steady hands appear. Promises of care and rest come like rain. Mercy arrives without ceremony. Hope settles in like a folding chair beside the bed. As I read, breathe with the rhythm of the lines. Pause when the sound asks for it. Let single phrases sink in as if they were seeds. A seed does not hurry to sprout. It simply rests in the earth until spring. So let the words rest inside you without pushing them to produce immediate change. Some seeds wait and then quietly become something living. You may place a hand over your heart if it helps. Feel its steady beat. Know that it continues through every small fear and every quiet joy. You have been carried through days like this before. You will be carried again. There is a faithful steadiness beyond the rush. That steadiness is not always loud. Often it is a soft warmth that hums under everything. When I pause between passages, I leave space. Do not feel obliged to fill it with thinking. Allow silence to do its own gentle work. Silence can bring clarity, like clearing a fogged window. In that clearing, mercy and hope become plain. They are not dramatic. They are quietly true. Let them be enough. I will speak of a shepherd's care. not as a far-off tale, but as a simple picture of being attended to. I will speak of a lamp that guides in dark places, not as a rule, but as an invitation to trust small light. I will speak of rest, given as a gift, not as a reward, but as a place to pause. Each image is meant to invite, not compel. Allow the body to become loose where it tenses. Loosen the jaw. Soften the shoulders. Let the neck relax. Unclench the hands if they hold tight. Imagine each little relaxation as a wave washing back from the toes to the head. The wave carries out small knots and leaves space behind. That space becomes a gentle room for the words I read. If the mind wanders, bring it back without scolding. A wandering mind is like a small bird that flits around a room. It will always come to rest on the sill if given time. Bring attention back to breath and to sound. Follow the tone. Let it lead without forcing. I will include moments of thanksgiving that are quiet and simple. Think of small mercies from your day. Perhaps a warm cup, a kind glance, a steady hand. Name one quietly in your mind. Let that small naming open a door. No list is long. One blessing at a time is enough. We do not seek to resolve every question tonight. Some questions sleep and need no immediate answer. Rest brings a different kind of wisdom. It sets aside urgency so the soul can be repaired by gentle presence. Mercy often works in small, unnoticed ways. Hope grows in the soil of that mercy. My tone will stay even. I will not rush to the end. The reading is like a slow walk down a familiar street at dusk. Each step has room to be noticed. Each sound has space to be heard. There is no hurry. There is time. You may hold a single phrase in your mind like a small stone. Let it warm against the skin of thought. It can be a phrase about shelter, or about guidance, or about rest. Turn it gently in the mind. Let it be a companion until sleep comes. You do not need to analyze the phrase. Let it accompany you as a soft presence. If sleeplessness lingers, do not add frustration to it. Frustration only tightens the body and sharpens the mind. Instead, listen to the rhythm of words and breath. Allow attention to rest on a steady phrase or on the sound of my voice. Sleep is sometimes slow to arrive. Your calmness is useful even without sleep. Rest itself is healing. Tonight, I will read slowly from passages that have comforted many. I will pause in the right places. I will let every line have air around it. Between readings, there will be space to breathe. In that space, quiet gratitude can rise without fanfare. Hope can enter gently and take its place beside the pillow. If tears come, let them. They wash and make room for softer things. If laughter rises, let it be light. Both are part of an honest evening. Mercy holds all of it. Hope does not exclude the ache. It meets it with a steady hand. As the reading moves forward, préférence mater little. You do not have to display any particular feeling. Simply listen. Allow the voice to be an offering. The words will not judge. They will offer the map of calmness, the image of care, the rhythm of rest. Now, make one more deep breath. Let it be slow and full. Exhale and let a gentle sigh leave the chest. Feel the small shift that comes when you intentionally slow your breathing. Let that shift be a marker for the time we share now. It signals a move toward rest. When I begin to read aloud, picture the words as a soft shawl draped over your shoulders. It fits without crowding. It yields to every movement. The presence within the words is not demanding. It simply rests with you, steady and kind. I will begin the first passage now. Listen with your whole attention, or with a part of it. Both are welcome. The aim is calm and peace. The night leans in. The lamp steadies. The breath continues. I begin. I open the book and let my hand rest on the page. The paper feels quiet. The room listens. I read slowly, not to hurry the words, but to let them settle. The passage I choose speaks of a shepherd who tends the small flock. The shepherd walks before them and walks beside them. The flock finds food in green places. It rests where water is gentle and wide. The feet of the sheep are guided along safe paths. The shepherd knows each one by name. The image asks only one thing: to trust the gentle care offered. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Let the picture fill a calm corner of the mind. I pause and let the silence do its work. The silence becomes a wide field. Thoughts are like light clouds crossing the sky. Notice them move without grabbing them. Return attention to the breath. Feel the chest rise and fall. The hands on the blanket are still. Skin cools under the light. The body yields a little more. Another passage follows. It speaks of lamp and pathway. The lamp does not chase the dark. It creates a single step at a time. The step is safe. The step is steady. Picture a small beam cutting across a floor. It meets a foot and shows the next soft step. There is no rush to cross space. The light offers direction and keeps the feet unhurried. Let the idea of one safe step ease the mind. One breath at a time. One step at a time. I read of mercy like rain that softens tired ground. The rain does not shout. It comes steady. It makes small pools where thirsty seeds can drink. Mercy does not demand a cost. It is a quiet provision that lets new life begin. Think of a thin rain at dusk. It cools the skin. It clears the air. A small mercy is enough to begin mending. When the text mentions forgiveness, I let the words move like a slow wind that lifts a heavy scarf from a weary shoulder. No heavy theology sits here. The image is plain. A hand loosens a bind. That loosening is mercy at work. Allow the shoulders to drop a touch. If the stomach has held tight, let it unclench now. Release a small sigh. I speak of rest as a deliberate stop, not a prize to earn. Rest is given. It settles like a simple cloth over the feet of a traveler. The cloth warms and makes room. It does not ask for anything in return. Imagine sitting at the edge of a quiet harbor. The boat rocks without worry. The harbor holds. The mind may still drift, but the body knows safety. Now breathe in with me. Hold for a gentle count. Breathe out, and imagine placing one small worry on the water. Watch it float. It may bob. It may turn a corner. It moves away. You do not push it. You do not muster strength to follow it. The harbor keeps it from racing. This is enough. The next piece I read is about keeping company with steady presence. It is like a warm hearth in a cold room. The hearth's glow is not loud. It is steady. The presence sits close, not far off. Think of someone who pours a cup of tea and sets it down beside you. That simple kindness keeps the hands from trembling. Let that quiet company fill the gaps. I guide attention to small things of gratitude. Name one quietly. A cup that warmed your hands, a kind word that arrived without planning, the curve of a neighbor's smile. Hold that single thing lightly, like a small stone warmed in the sun. It gives out a little heat. That heat is enough. If tears come, allow them. They wash faint scars. If a laugh rises, let it out soft. Both clear and steady the heart. They are honest responses that the night can hold. The room does not judge. The book continues. I read a passage that paints a picture of a lost thing found again. The story is of one who goes after the lost with patient steps. The search does not end at pride or shame. It ends when the lost one is lifted and carried home. Think of being lifted after a long fall. The arms are careful and sure. The chest eases. The world shifts back into a kinder view. Between phrases, I leave space for breath. The space is a small room where the sound can rest. Do not rush to fill it with thinking. Let the silence sit as a friend who does not speak, but offers presence. In that silence, mercy can deepen. Hope can take a clearer shape. I encourage a small physical release. Soften the jaw. Allow the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth and then rest. Roll the shoulders gently toward the back and let them drop. These are small movements that tell the nervous system the evening is safe. The body reads them as a signal to relax. The next reading speaks of steady guidance through times of shadow. Shadows mean low light, not danger. The guide walks at the side, sometimes ahead. The steps are chosen to keep the feet sure. Remember, a low-lit path you have traveled before. The memory feels safe now. Let that calmness return. I remind you that questions do not need answers tonight. Questions can rest like unopened letters on a shelf. They will be there tomorrow if needed. For now, let the lid of concern remain closed. The mind can fold into a quiet margin and breathe. I read aloud of quiet provision. The passage talks about a table set in a room of peace. The table holds small comforts, bread, warm drink, a soft cloth. The table is not grand. It is honest and steady. Picture sitting at that table. Your feet touch the floor. The chair supports you. The food is simple and nourishing. The scene reassures rather than dazzles. I speak of steadfastness as a familiar rhythm. It is a pulse that does not hurry. It holds through storms and gentle days alike. You have known steadiness at moments. Call one memory to mind where steadiness kept you safe. Let that memory be a quiet anchor. Now take one slow breath. Imagine it widening the chest like opening a small window. Let the air sweep across the inner room and carry out tightness. Exhale and notice how the shoulders fall another inch. Repeat once more and feel the body sink deeper into comfort. The reading moves into a short passage about rest being a trust placed in kind hands. Trust is small, like giving a child to a caregiver across a room. The child stays quiet and safe. The caregiver is not distant. The caregiver watches and returns with a small smile. This image asks only a little courage. Offer it now. I pause to leave a long silence. In that pause, let the breath be the sound you follow. Count silently if you like. Inhale for 3. Hold for 1. Exhale for 4. Keep the counts gentle. They are not strict rules. They are soft guides. Before closing this section, I ask you to hold one phrase quietly. Choose a short line from what you have heard. It can be about shelter, light, mercy, or rest. Say it once in your mind. Do not turn it over too often. Let it sit like a warm pebble in the palm. If the mind wanders, bring it back without judgment. The phrase will be there to anchor the attention. I will not press the hour. The reading continues in slow measure. For now, allow this part to finish like a long, soft exhale. Feel the steady rhythm you have formed. You are not alone in this room. The words have company. The breath keeps time. Soon, I will move on to the next passage. But before that, I leave a gentle blessing in the air. May the rest you need find you. May mercy meet you where you are. May hope come quietly and take its place beside you. Hold that blessing like a small lantern on the bedside table. One last, slow breath. Hold. Release. Let the weight of the world settle a little farther from the chest. The lamp keeps watch. The harbor holds. The shepherd walks close. I close this section with intention. The night goes on. The next reading will come soon, in its own calm time. For now, settle into the quiet we have made together. I sit with the book open on my lap. The lamp hums low. The room holds a hush. In this hush, I turn to a simple truth. God is here. I speak it not as doctrine to argue, but as warmth to rest in. Tonight we rest in that presence. I let the thought settle like a soft cloth over the shoulders. Now, I name what often comes with night. Anxiety arrives in many small ways. It may be a quickening of the heart. It may be a mind that loops the same thought. It may be a heat behind the eyes or a weight in the chest. The body keeps the score of worry. The hands remember tension. The breath shortens. I ask you to notice these things without hurry. Notice them as facts in the room, not verdicts about you. I read a passage that speaks into this kind of night. It tells of someone who notices the lilies and the birds. It says their needs are met without frantic motion. The words invite a quiet comparison. They do not scold. They simply show care in small things. I let that image move slowly through the mind, a bird settling on a branch, a flower opening at dawn. Both are attended to. Both are calm in their small tasks. If a particular anxiety sits heavy, give it a name. Speak it gently in the mind. One word is enough. Fear. Money. Health. A strained relationship. Naming is not a call to fix it now. Naming is a way to set a small thing on the table so the night can see it clearly. When something is named, it leaves the vague haze that grows into panic. It becomes manageable. I invite a small breathing practice to accompany the naming. Breathe in slowly for 3 counts. Hold for a quiet second. Exhale for 4 counts. Repeat twice more. Each breath moves like a slow tide. The tide carries a little of the tightness away. The chest opens by very small degrees. The jaw loosens. The shoulders drop another inch. These are gentle actions, not urgent ones. I read words that speak of handing over heavy things. They are not harsh commands. They are an invitation to place burdens down. Picture a bench in a garden. Place one worry on that bench. Imagine the weight of it. Feel the bench. Hold it without strain. There is no hurry to pick it up again. The garden keeps watch. The text I read also tells of a steady companion who walks close. The companion is not far off at a distance. Presence is near as breath. You do not carry everything by yourself. The promise is small, and plain mercy meets the anxious place. Mercy comes like rain in a dry season. Soft and steady, it does not erase the memory of drought, but it allows the ground to soften and accept new growth when panic circulates like a fast wind. Anchor to a single phrase. I offer a line chosen from the reading. Repeat it in the mind with the breath. Let the phrase be short and kind. Let it be a pebble that the mind can hold without juggling. If thoughts pull away, bring them back without blame. The mind is like a restless bird. It will settle if given time and calm. I guide attention to the body again. Place one hand over the chest. Feel the beat there. Let the palm rest with no pressure. Imagine the beat beneath the hand is steady and true. Let this steadying be a small proof that the system can return to calm. If the stomach holds tight, breathe into it as if breathing into a small cave. The air expands the walls slowly and safely. I read of a table set in peace. The table is not full of demand. It holds simple things. A warm cup, bread, a soft light. See yourself at that table. The chair supports you. The hands can relax on the lap. You do not need to perform. For a moment you may simply be. This small image is meant to soothe, not to solve. If regret presses like a shadow, let the words I read offer a plain remedy. Bring the regret into the light of presence. Place it gently in view. Presence is not a judge with a ledger. Presence is a hand that takes what it finds and tends it. Imagine that hand taking a small stone of guilt, turning it over, and laying it somewhere safe. It is an act of care. It frees the fingers to do other work, to hold a cup, to smooth a blanket. Sometimes anxiety behaves like a list that keeps adding items. I invite a brief exercise. Picture a narrow stream near the house. Write the list on a small leaf in your mind. Place the leaf on the water. Watch it float. Watch the stream take it around bends. You do not chase it. You do not force it to disappear. You watch it go. The watching itself is a surrender of motion into trust. The reading draws on the simple image of shepherd and sheep. The shepherd knows each animal by name. The sheep do not earn the shepherd's care. They receive it. Apply the image to this night. Imagine being known by name. not in the abstract, but in the close way of someone who notices freckle, limp, or favorite blanket. The knowing calms the small alarms that say you are unseen. If old habits rise the need to analyze, to list solutions, to work through every angle, allow them to wait. This hour is for listening and for rest. There will be time later to make plans. For now, give the planning a seat at the back of the room. Let it watch while presence leads the hands and the breath. I read a short passage that invites a quiet exchange. Bring what you cannot carry and lay it before the one who keeps watch. The exchange is practical. You keep what you are meant to do. You hand over the weight of worry. Trust does not remove responsibility. It alters where that burden rests. Imagine the burden sitting on a sturdy table. While you step back to breathe, the table holds it without needing your continual rearrangement. If sleep seems far, do not measure the night by it. Rest is wider than sleep. Rest is the mind taking a softer tone. Rest is the body lowering its guards, even awake. Rest does work. Allow the ears to tune to quieter sounds, the turning of a page, the rustle of cloth, the slow in-breath. These small sounds are allies of calm. When tears come, let them be carried without shame. Tears clear the tightness that words sometimes cannot reach. They are a language of release. If laughter rises unexpectedly, accept it as a small joy. Both small sorrow and small joy can live in the same quiet evening. Presence holds both. I close this section with a short pause. In that pause, place one small worry into the scene of presence. Name it once. Place it on the bench. Set it on the leaf. Lay it on the table. Feel the slight ease that follows. Notice the breath lengthen a fraction. Notice the shoulders soften another degree. I will continue to read in a little while. For now, rest in the awareness of being attended to. Let the images I have given stay near like a candle on a distant shelf. They are not blazing, only steady. Take one final slow breath with me. Hold it lightly. Release, and let a soft sigh move through the body. The night folds around the small quiet you have made. I keep the book open and the lamp low. We move onward slowly, with patience and kindness. The next part will come when the rhythm is ready. For now, let mercy stand near your head, like a keeper who does not sleep. I lift the book a little and let the lamp spill its small circle of light. The paper breathes quietly with the room. My voice moves slow. I read as one who wants calm to come. The lines I choose now bring simple promises. They are not heavy. They are small and steady. A passage sits near the front of the book. It speaks of a quiet refuge. It speaks of hands that steady a trembling. I do not give sharp answers. I offer images that rest. Picture a shallow pool at the edge of a wood. The water is still. It reflects the sky like a palm holds light. Walk to that edge in your mind. Set one foot down. Feel its warmth. The thought of refuge does not erase the world. It makes room for a pause. I ask you to name one fear again, but softly. Say the name once in your mind. Do not turn it like a stone. Place it like a small leaf on the water. Watch it sit. Watch the current take a tiny edge. The act of placing does not mean the fear goes away. It means you no longer carry it in clenched hands. The hands are free to rest. My reading moves to images of shelter and watchful care. I read of a protector who keeps close at night. The protector is not distant or indifferent. The care is like a blanket spread over tired shoulders. Imagine the blanket being laid down without force. There is no stern command in the gesture. There is only the slow kindness of someone who knows the hour and comes to tend it. Breathe with me slowly. Inhale for 3 soft counts. Hold for a gentle moment. Exhale for 4. Each breath is a small promise to the body. The pulse beneath the ribs finds a steadier beat. The jaw unclenches. The belly eases. Let the breath fill the chest like a quiet room receives light. It is enough to sit in that light. I shift the words toward a short, simple prière. It is not ornate. It asks for small things. It asks for rest. It asks for mercy on the threads that hold tonight's worry. Say the prayer in your heart if you wish. Ask for gentleness on the anxious place. Ask for soft hands to hold the tremor. These words do not judge. They open a space where you can be as you are. Next, I read of handing things over. The image is like a child giving a bundle to a caregiver across a kitchen table. The child does not fear that the bundle will be mishandled. The caregiver receives it with care and tucks it aside. In the same way, imagine placing one burden on a table in front of you. Watch a steady hand. Lift it and set it in a safe place. You may breathe out. You may feel an inch of room return to the chest. If the mind protests and wants to plan, give it a polite place to sit. Say to the planning part, I see you. You will have time. For now, allow the part that aches to rest. Having a seat reserved for worry keeps it from pacing the floor all night. The planning mind can sit and wait quietly, like a friend who reads while you sleep. I speak plainly of forgiveness tonight. The image is not complex. Forgiveness is like a slow wind that lifts the corner of a heavy cloak so the shoulders can drop. It does not force the cloak to disappear. It loosens the straps. Allow the loosening to move through the muscles. Let the shoulders fall another inch. Let the face soften. There is a small instruction I offer now. If a particular memory hums with regret, bring it to the light of presence and look at it gently. See it for what it is, one night's memory among many. Place it on the same table where burdens rest. Let the steady hand take it. You do not need to argue about it tonight. You do not need to repair everything in this hour. The light that watches over the table is patient. I read again of simple provision. The story shows a table set with modest things. Warm bread, a small cup, a cloth that steadies the hands. The scene is not grand. It is intimate and enough. See yourself seated there. Feel the chair hold you. Let your feet rest on the floor. Let the cup warm the palms. This quiet sufficiency is the sort of care that heals small frays. The words move to the theme of being known. Imagine someone calling your name softly across a room. Not a shout, but a careful disclose voice. The voice speaks with knowledge of the small marks and memories you carry. Being known in that way loosens the sense of isolation. Let the known feeling settle like a hand on the shoulder. You are seen. You are accounted for. I invite a brief exercise to anchor the mind. Choose a short, gentle phrase from what you have heard tonight. It might be about rest, a watching presence, or a single image of warmth. Repeat the phrase slowly in rhythm, with the breath. Inhale. Say the phrase. Exhale. Repeat. Let the phrase be a pebble the mind can hold. If attention drifts, bring it back without scolding. Now shift to soft movement. Roll the feet gently inside the blanket. Wiggle the toes. Soften the knees. Let the hips sink a little deeper. Take the shoulders and lift them toward the ears. Then drop them long. These small actions tell the nervous system it is safe to release. They whisper that the night will be gentle. I read of shadows that are simply rooms with low light. The words do not turn shadows into monsters. They call them what they are, places where the lamp's circle is smaller. A companion walks there with you. The companion is steady. The steps are measured. Imagine that walk. Notice how the pace slows. The slower pace is not a loss of time. It is a letting go of hurry. There is a space in the reading tonight for gratitude. Though small, think of one quiet mercy from your day. A hand that steadied a jar. A window that opened and let in cool air. A moment of silence on a busy morning. Hold that mercy lightly. Let it warm a corner of the mind. Gratitude is not a demand to feel more. It is a soft light on a single thing. If tears come, receive them as clean water. They are part of the night's cleansing. Let them pass without analysis. If a smile slips out, let it be a small bell. Both responses are honest. The presence that watches tonight does not flinch at tears or at laughter. Both are welcome. I now offer a short blessing. It is quiet and plain. May this night bring rest that is not forced. May mercy find the anxious places and make them softer. May hope arrive as a small light, not a blaze, gentle enough to sit beside the bed. Hold the blessing in the palm of thought. Let it glow a little. Before I close this section, take one last slow breath with me. Inhale fully and notice how the air widens the chest. Hold softly. Exhale and imagine the breath taking with it a thin thread of worry. Repeat once more. Let the exhale be long and kind. Feel the body settle another degree into the bed. I leave the book open. The lamp keeps its small watch. The rest we have begun is not finished. It unfolds slowly like evening, turning into night. I will continue reading when the rhythm feels right. For now, allow the images and the phrases to rest near you like companions. Do not force sleep. Let the breathing and the quiet do their slow work. When I turn the page, it will be with the same careful pace. The next part will bring more steady images and a few short prayers to carry you deeper into rest. For now, the room holds a hush. The presence near the bedside keeps its promise of care. I close this section with intention. The night is gentle. The hand that tends stays close. Rest here as you need. I lay my hand lightly on the open page. The lamp keeps its small ring of light. The room breathes with a slow hush. I speak again, not to hurry, but to invite a silence that holds. The words I read now gather around a single, gentle instruction. Do not carry the night's weight alone. Bring it into the quiet. Let it be met with prayer and thanks. In that meeting there is a peace that comes like a soft tide. It comes without a loud trumpet. It comes as a steady hush. I tell the story in plain language. I do not argue. I do not press theology. I offer a practice. First, notice the anxious place. It sits often in the throat, the chest, the tightness behind the eyes, or the clench of the jaw. Say its name once, not in a parade. Just a single clear word. Fear, money, health, loneliness. Naming helps the mind place the thing where it can be seen, instead of being a fog that fills the room. Next, hand it over in prayer. The prayer is simple. It is not ornate. It says, here is this weight. I lay it down. The hands that receive it are steady. There is no show of weakness in the giving. The act of offering frees fingers to rest. Do not feel the need to fix everything tonight. The giving is an honest act that brings rest by its very offering. Then add thanks. Thankfulness is small and direct. Name one thing and hold it in mind. A steady cup of tea this afternoon. A soft word that arrived unexpectedly. A quiet corner where the light had a golden edge. Say the thank you like a small bell. The bell does not demand applause. It simply rings and lets the sound settle. Combine the steps slowly. Breathe in. Name the worry. Offer it as a simple handover. Breathe out. Say a small thanks. Repeat once more. Each cycle is calm. Each cycle loosens a little tension. The practice is not about denying pain. It is about placing it where it is tended. I invite a small image to hold. Picture a low wall by a garden. On the far side of that wall, a gentle light stands and keeps watch. The light is not harsh. It is not invasive. It guards a small patch of night. It keeps a safe margin between the dark and the garden path. The peace given by prayer and thanks is like that light. It does not answer every question. It keeps the heart and mind from being overtaken by the dark. It stands as a steady boundary. Feel the hands on the chest. Let the palm rest without pressure. Imagine the light spreading inwards from the ribs. The warmth is not heat. It is a soft glow that moves slowly. It settles on the places where worry tightens the most. The glow is patient. It does not demand immediate change. It simply holds what it finds. That holding makes room. I guide a breathing exercise to match the image. Inhale gently for 3 counts. Hold for a small pause. Exhale slowly for 4. Match the phrase in the heart, thank you. Let the phrase be short. Say it once during the out-breath. If words feel odd, use a whispered breath instead. The rhythm helps the nervous system slow. It signals that the body may release its guard. As the breath eases, picture a gate that swings open just wide enough to let a small parcel pass. Place the named worry on that parcel. Watch the gate swing. A steady hand receives it on the other side and sets it on a table. The table will not collapse. The receiving hand is kind and careful. The parcel rests there. You do not carry it now. You may return tomorrow if needed. Or you may leave it. The choice is free. After handing over, look for one small thing to thank God for. It need not be large. Maybe a friend who called. Maybe a meal that warmed the body. Maybe a song that rose in the morning. Let gratitude be a gentle recognition, not a tally. The thing named does not solve the night's trouble. It simply sits beside it and means the world is wider than the worry. There is a quiet promise in this pattern. Prayer without thanksgiving sometimes feels like pleading. Thanksgiving without honest prayer sometimes feels like pretending. Together they make a small trade. The anxious burden moves from clenched hands into steady care. The mind, loosened by gratitude, may notice peace arriving. It is not a peace that can be explained by reason. It is a peace that feels like a deep and soft guarding. It warms the chest and slows racing thoughts. I speak now of surrender as a small, steady gesture. Surrender is not defeat. It is trust, moved into action. Place what you cannot carry, where it can be watched by care that does not tire. This act is not a one-time magic. It is a practice to return to. In the dark hours, the practice can be a small lamp that keeps its promise. If thoughts attempt to hurry in, do not shame them. Notice and return. The mind is a room with many doors. Some doors open to worry. Close them gently. Open the door that says thank you. Sit for a moment inside that room. Let the air feel different there. The body responds to that gentle choosing. Muscles relax. The face softens. The scapula eases away from the spine. Each small release is a step toward rest. I read again from the page, but in a soft paraphrase, I say that when prayer and thanksgiving travel together, peace arrives to guard the heart and mind. The guarding is not like a wall that shuts out everything. It is a protective presence that keeps the anxious noise from overwhelming the interior room. The guarding feels like a watchful hush. It allows sleep to come without a parade of questions. Now a short practice for the eyes. If the eyelids feel heavy, let them close. If they do not, soften the gaze and imagine the lamp's circle shrinking to a dot. Follow that dot to the center of the brow. Keep the breath steady. Let the dot become a soft point of light, guarding the inner space. The breathing and the point together steady the body's tempo. I offer a brief, guided prayer. It is not ornate. It says, "Thank you for this presence. Hold what I cannot hold well tonight. Give rest where it is needed. Let mercy be near. Let hope sit like a small companion by the bed." The prayer is gentle and short. Speak it once in the mind, if it helps, or let the silence be the prayer itself. Both ways are true. Let the room be a place where mercy can do small work. Mercy sometimes comes as a tiny thaw. It loosens the places that have frozen from worry. It does not rush forcefully. It slides in where tenderness can reach. Give attention to the tenderness the night allows. If tears come, let them be. They are a water that clears the lens. They do not signify failure. If a small laugh rises, receive it with a smile. Both responses are honest. Both are welcome in this quiet. I set a short time now for silence. In the silence, keep the breath and the image of the guarding light. Let the heart find its own slow rhythm. I will not speak for a few moments. This pause is not empty. It is a place where the trade of worry for guarding peace can complete itself. Pause for several measured breaths. I return to the page with soft steps. The lamp keeps its watch. The page offers more images of care and steadiness. I will read them slowly in the next part. For the moment, hold the small practice close. Name one worry. Give it as a simple handover. Offer one gratitude and breathe with the rhythm. Let the peace that surpasses understanding find a small foothold in the chest. Before I close this section, receive a brief blessing. May this night bring the rest you need. May mercy meet you in the places that ache. May hope come quietly and take its seat beside you. Let the blessing rest like a small lantern by the bedside. Take one last long breath with me. Inhale fully. Hold for a gentle beat. Exhale slowly and let a soft sigh leave the body. Feel the shoulders drop a degree more. Feel the hands unclench. The lamp and the book stay. The reading will continue in time. For now, settle into the hush we have made together. The guarding peace is near. Rest as you need. I wake slowly from the day I will tell you about. It is an ordinary day at first. The sun slips through the curtains. The kettle clicks and begins its small song. I make a cup of tea and sit by the window. The street hums with usual life. The list of small tasks sits on the kitchen counter like a neat stack of cards. One thing alters the stack. A note slips under the door. Nothing dramatic. An appointment moved. A phone call to return. The heart tightens for a moment. It is a small tightening. It is enough to cloud the afternoon. The body remembers other afternoons. Old rhythms return. Worry starts a quiet loop. I do not let it run wild. I name it. I say the word in my head and set it beside the cup. Naming does not solve everything. It does help the hand unclench. The breath lengthens a fraction. Small practices matter. I fold a towel. I breathe in and out. The kettle cools on the stove. The day moves on. A bus is late. A meeting begins without me. I stumble into a thrum of busy places. Each missed thing leaves a small echo. The mind begins to list what else might be missed. The list becomes heavy. The chest presses. I find a bench in a small park. It is not far from where the day spirals. Leaves fall with a steady, unspectacular grace. A child at play chases a pigeon without hurry. The pigeon flaps and then settles, as if the whole scene is normal and kindly. The sight loosens the shoulders by a little. Small things have that power. A neighbor passed by. I only notice the back of a slow-rolling bicycle and a basket of bright apples. A hand extends a loaf from that basket. The loaf is warm. The neighbor has more than enough to give and still offers. The gesture is quiet. It is not a sermon. It is a plain kindness. The loaf is soft and smells like home. I eat a slice and let crumbs fall on my palm. The crumbs are honest. They are small and true. The sudden grace of the offering jolts the anxious mind. The list of worries does not vanish. It recedes a little. Like waves pulling back from the shore, I breathe in. I let gratitude breathe out. The chest finds slack it did not know it could hold. Later, a rain begins. It is not violent. It is gentle and patient. It falls in a rhythm that matches the breath. The world smells clean. I stand under a small awning and watch the drops. In the space between them I notice a phrase from the page I will read tonight. It is not a verse. It is an image I have carried, the image of an unseen hand guiding small steps. The image sits in the mind like a small lantern. It does not answer every question. It offers direction for the foot. I walk a line that seems minor. A medical test requires a call. The call comes with a delay. I wait. Waiting is its own weather. I sit in the waiting and practice naming. Offering. And thanks. I breathe with a slower count. The practice is not a trick. It is a small tool that steadies the nervous system. Each breath is a quiet decision to be present. When the call finally arrives, the voice on the other end is matter of fact. It does not aim to unsettle. It tells of a minor complication. The words could build a wall around the day. I let them stand in view. I do not hide them under frantic plans. I place them on the bench I have carried in my mind all day. The bench is steady. The burden sits there. I do not have to carry it for every step. On the way home, a stray tabby follows beside my feet. It pads close and rubs against the ankle. The contact is small and immediate. Warm fur. A soft purr. The heart loosens again. The tabby does not speak of schedules or outcomes. It offers a body that is present and content for the moment. That simple animal grace is enough to make the world less sharp. At home, I set a table with modest things. Tea. A slice of the neighbor's bread. A worn cloth napkin. The chair welcomes a tired spine. The room has soft light from a lamp I keep for evenings like this. I open the book I will read before bed. My fingers brush the page. The paper smells faintly of old ink and quiet. I read slowly. I do not race to fix anything in the day's story. My reading is like a hand placed on a brow. It cools without fuss. In the words I choose there is an invitation to trust, not in abstract doctrine, but in steady presence. The book does not speak loud. It offers small promises and plain images. They are the kind that settle in the marrow. I fold the day into what it is. The anxiety that began in the morning is a part of it. The small kindnesses and unexpected mercies are part of it too. I do not flatten the two. I let them sit together on the same small table. Each has weight. Each is tended. Prayer becomes a simple exchange. I name the worry once. I set it down. I say thanks for one thing. Tonight, it is the neighbor's bread. I say the name of a small kindness and feel an odd lightness. The exchange does not erase difficulty. It changes where it rests. The worry is put on a table watched by a steady presence. That presence is not a fix but a companion. The companion walks with the day's pieces. Sleep comes slowly. If it comes at all, it tends to be gentle. If not, rest still gathers in small ways. The body softens. The mind quiets enough to notice a single good thing: the neighbor's loaf, the tabby's purr, the clear, calm voice on the phone that did not create panic. These small graces weave together into a seam of peace. I read aloud from the page nearby. My voice is not loud. It is a low, steady sound. I read for you as I will read tonight. The book's images carry the day to a place where mercy and hope are not theatrical. They are quiet and persistent. They arrive like a friend who puts a hand on the shoulder and sits for a while. They guide without forcing. At the edge of sleep, I remind myself, and now remind you, that guidance often comes in small, unexpected ways. A loaf handed over, a warm animal at the feet, a phrase that settles at the edge of thought, a hand that answers a late call with clarity. These are not miraculous in the loud sense. They are ordinary mercies. They are the soft steps that steady a wandering heart. I choose a short phrase to keep with me. It is not a verse. It is an image steady hands beside the path. I repeat it once in the mind and let it sit. The phrase is a pebble in the palm. It is small and warm. It does not need to be turned over and over. It is enough to hold. If anxiety returns in the night, I will name it again. I will offer it as I did earlier. I will thank for one small mercy. The practice is gentle. It is patient. It is a habit that keeps a steady light in the room. I lay the book closed on my lap. For now, the lamp keeps its hush. My voice slows to a whisper for the space between readings. The day I told you about is a simple map. It shows how ordinary hours can tilt into worry and then find grace in the most unexpected corners. Before I move to the next section, I offer a small blessing. May the ordinary mercies of this day find their way to you. May small kindnesses steady your step. May hope come quietly and sit with you as you rest. Let the breathing be slow. Let the lamp glow small and sure. Take one last breath with me. Inhale. Hold. Exhale with a soft release. Let the day fold into the night. Not erased, but softly attended. I will read again soon. For now, rest in the quiet we have made together. I open the book and let my fingers rest on the edge of the page. The lamp sends a warm circle. The room leans toward quiet. Tonight I speak of forgiveness. I speak as one who reads and tends a quiet hour. The idea is simple. It is gentle. It is a gift. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not demand a sudden erasure. It asks only that something heavy be set down. Think of a bag of stones. You have carried it far. Your shoulders know the weight. Forgiveness is a hand that helps take the bag. The hand does not remove the memory. It changes who carries the load. I read a short passage that shows mercy in small actions. The passage does not shout. It offers pictures. A hand comes close. A wound is tended. A cry is heard and answered. The images are ordinary. They feel true. They invite a soft response inside the chest. If you want to forgive another, take one small step. Name the person quietly in the mind. Do not rehearse accusations. Simply say the name. Let the breath follow the sound of that name. Breathe in. Breathe out. Imagine the chest loosening a little with each exhale. Then picture a simple act. Imagine placing a pebble in your hand for each grievance. One pebble per memory that still presses. You do not need to throw away the stones now. Place them on a low table in your inner room. A steady light watches them. The act of setting them down changes the story. The hand that takes them is steady. It does not flinch. Forgiving oneself follows the same small pattern. It often feels harder. The inner voice is a careful critic. Tonight, ask that voice to sit beside you instead of pacing the floor. Speak one kind fact to it. Say in the mind, I did the best I could then. Say it slowly. Let it rest for a breath. A small mercy can reach inside months of blame and loosen a single strand. I offer a practice now. Close the eyes if you like. Rest both hands over the midline of the belly. Feel the slow rise and fall. Inhale for 3 soft counts. Hold for 1. Exhale for 5. Repeat twice. With each out-breath, imagine loosening a small knot in a rope. See the rope lengthen. Do not hurry the knots. Let the breath be the slow tool that works them free. The Bible I read tonight speaks often of tender hands. It does not teach complicated proofs. It shows hands that lift and hands that heal. The images I choose echo that same tone. Imagine those hands as gentle as a parent, tucking a child in. They do not scold. They simply make the bed smoother. Forschum. Forgiveness begins with a small ceremony. I suggest a paper and a pen. Write one short line to the person or the memory you cannot forgive. Do not fix grammar. Do not aim for eloquence. Write one sentence that names the hurt. Fold the paper once. Place it on the bedside table. Say a quiet sentence of letting go. You may choose to burn the paper later, or tuck it away. The point is not the paper. It is the act of clearly moving the memory from clenched mind to visible object. When something is seen, it can be tended. If forgiving another feels unsafe, do not force closeness. Forgiveness can be private. It can be a quiet decision to stop sharpening every moment into a dagger. It can be the choice to hold boundaries while releasing the need to punish. Mercy and safety can exist together. Think of a guarded garden. The gate stays closed. Inside, a small plot is tended. The gardener forgives the weeds and pulls them for new soil. The gate keeps the garden safe. Forgiveness is the gardening, not the opening of the gate. Many nights the hardest forgiveness is self-directed. Habits and old scripts replay. In this case, use the breath and a single sentence. I will try again tomorrow. Say it like a promise, not like penance. Hope and failure can live together. They do not cancel each other out. The voice that says I will try again is a small companion that steadies the hand at night. I read now a portion that speaks of a welcome. It is the kind of welcome that meets a tired traveler on a dusk road. The traveler is not required to justify every choice. The welcome asks only that the traveler come. Think of that welcome as a light on a distant porch. It does not judge the day's dirt. It simply marks a place to rest. If anger rises while you try to forgive, do not fear it. Anger is a weather pattern. It passes through. Observe it like a cloud across the sky of your mind. Give it space. Name it once, and let it move on. Do not feed it with arguments in the dark. Instead, let the breath and the lamp steady your body. A gentle phrase can help. I hold the hurt. I will not let it hunt me tonight. Say that quietly and return to the breath. Sometimes forgiveness needs a witness. If you have a person you trust, tell them one simple thing, not the whole history. One line. Name the feeling and the need. The listening becomes proof that your heart is not alone. If no one is close, imagine a steady listener by the bedside. Picture that listener folding the hands around your spoken hurt and keeping it safe. The imagination can be a faithful friend. I suggest a short bedtime ritual for forgiveness. Before sleep, take 3 slow breaths. With the first, recall a small hurt. With the second, offer it into steady hands. With the third, name one mercy from the day. It can be thin. A cup that warmed the palms. A window that let in cold air. A small laugh that came unexpectedly. Let the mercy be a counterweight, not a dismissal. It sits beside the hurt on the same small table. There is a quiet difference between forgiving and reconciling. Forgiving can happen entirely inside the heart. Reconciliation may require conversations and time and safety. Do not confuse the two. Forgiving can free you before the other steps are possible. Let this freedom be a gentle inner unclenching that makes room for better choices tomorrow. If the memories keep pushing in the night, use a short anchor phrase. Choose 2 words. Keep them soft. My phrase is gentle merci, because it is small. The mind can hold it without arguing. Each time a memory presses, repeat the phrase with the out-breath. The repetition is a steady rope back to calm. I read another passage that shows forgiveness as a gift, rather than as a ledger entry. The gift comes to the one who gives it. It loosens tight muscles. It makes sleep possible. Think of forgiveness like a window opened in a hot room. It does not remove the heat of the day. It lets fresh air come and cool the skin. Sleep finds that cooler place easier. Forgiveness also asks for time. Do not be harsh with yourself if the act feels partial. A small unlocking tonight is still an unlocking. The process is not measured by speed. It is measured by the willingness to let the hand help. Each small release becomes a seed. Some seeds sprout quickly. Some wait through winter. Both are part of a patient life. If guilt keeps returning like a small animal at the sill, speak one small sentence to it. Tell it that you notice and that you will care for the things you can. Then return to the breath. Care for the rest in practice and in time. If needed, choose one small action for tomorrow that aligns with your values. It can be as simple as a note of apology, where apology is due, or a step to correct a mistake. Actions help settle restless consciences. I read a final short image now. Picture a basket beside a quiet road. Inside the basket are small stones you no longer need to carry. Lay down one stone now in your imagination. Feel the fingers open. Notice the strange lightness. Say a short prayer if that helps. Thankfulness for the small mercy. A request for help with the harder places. Keep the prayer short. Let it be a whisper in the mind. As I close this section, breathe with me once more. Inhale slowly for 3 counts. Hold for 1. Exhale long and quiet. Let the chest soften. Let the jaw relax. Let sleep. When it comes, be gentler, because a little weight has been placed elsewhere. I leave the book open on my lap. The lamp makes a small pool of light. The rest of the night waits with patience. The act of forgiveness is not completed in one breath. It unfolds like a slow tide. Tonight a small shore finds calm. Tomorrow may bring more work. That is all right. Before I move on, I offer a short blessing. May you find room in your heart to set down one burden. May mercy meet the places that ache. May hope sit like a quiet lantern by your bed. Let the words rest. Let the breath keep time. I will read again when the rhythm is ready. For now, settle into the gentle hush we have made together. I lift the book and hold it light. The page breathes under my fingers. This part I call finding. I speak as one who reads the Bible to you before sleep. My aim now is a quiet map. It points to small places where rest is found. Finding is not a search for big answers. It is locating one steady thing in the dark. A compass can be tiny and still guide. A thumb pressed to a familiar seam can prove a coat is whole. Tonight, the compass is mercy. The seam is an opened hand. The map is very small and very close. I think of a locket you carry, without showing. It holds a single picture. You do not need to open it often. When you do, the picture steadies your pace. Finding is like that. It asks for a simple look at one thing that keeps the heart from drifting. For Shum, the locket is a brief phrase. For others, it is a memory of a kindness. For all, it is something to return to when the night tries to pull the mind away. Matthew 6:14-15 speaks gently about forgiveness. It says that an open heart receives openness in return. I do not press the words as a rule to argue. I offer them as a gentle echo. When mercy is given, mercy has room to rest. When mercy is welcome, the self finds enough slack to breathe. The idea is plain. Forgiveness opens a place where sleep can visit. I give 3 small practices for finding that place. They are easy to do in bed. They are not tests. They are tools to steady a wandering mind. First, find an anchor phrase. Make it 2 words. Keep it short and plain. My example is mercy returns. Choose words that feel soft. Say them inwardly with each out-breath. Do not analyze. Let the phrase be a small footstep. Repeat it as often as the mind needs a guide. The repetition is a soft rope back to calm. Second, find a touch point on the body to rest the attention. It might be the hollow where collarbone meets chest. It might be the pad of the thumb touching the first finger. Place a palm there and name the place quietly. Breathe into it for a few cycles. The breath gathers into that place like a small harbor. Notice how the nervous system responds to the steady focus. The hand need not press. Its presence alone is enough to remind the body it is allowed to relax. Third, find one small practical step for tomorrow. This is not a plan that must solve everything. It is a tiny act that moves you toward repair. It could be a short note, a phone call left brief, or a single errand done with care. Make the step no larger than you can manage in 5 minutes. The existence of that step often frees the mind from drafting endless scenarios. A small action does the work of a dozen worries. I pause here and rest my voice on the line between thought and sleep. The room takes in the sound and gives it back in silence. Do not feel obliged to fill the silence with rescue plans. Let it stand as a quiet witness. When forgiveness feels hard, begin very small. Some hurts are like old maps with many creases. Repairing a map takes gentle stitches. Not a single pull. Start with a single crease. Name it in the privacy of your mind. Lay it on a small table of thought where presence watches. Imagine someone steady and kind placing a thin cloth over it. The cloth does not erase the crease. It allows the paper to lie flatter. That flattening is enough to let the hand move freely. If self-forgiveness is the need, treat the inner voice like a tired traveler. Meet it with a cup of warmth rather than a long list of reprimands. Speak one line of truth to it you tried. Say it once and rest. The night does not require that every guilt be resolved. It asks only that the hands be released enough to sleep. Sleep itself is a healer. It does not negotiate. It tends. Finding often means letting go of the need for immediate fix. It is a practice of small abandon. Imagine a lantern hung on a post beside a dark path. The lantern is not a floodlight. It simply marks the next step. Walk toward it. When you reach it, find the next lantern and step again. Forgiveness and rest travel in such small measures. Each little step is enough. I offer a different breathing pattern now. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 2 soft beats. Exhale for 6 counts. Repeat 3 times. Feel the longer out-breath draw the chest into calmer terrain. With each exhale, let a small thing go. Do not try to release everything at once. Let one thin thread unwind and fall away. The breath does the untying. A practical image helps. Picture a seamstress at a late table. She mends a garment by light of a small lamp. Her hands are steady. She works on 1 stitch at a time. Sometimes she removes a thread and replaces it. The rhythm of needle and thread quiets her breath. Finding your rest tonight is like sitting at that table. You do not need to remake the whole piece. You mend 1 stitch. The steady hand and the steady lamp are enough. If anger or hurt returns, do not force it away. Name it like a cloud over the seamstress's window. Acknowledge its presence. Give it room to pass. Sometimes the best mercy is silence alongside the feeling. Stand by it quietly. The night tolerates a lot when it is met without panic. A small ritual can make the finding more visible. Keep a small object on your bedside table. It need not be sacred. It could be a plain button, a smooth coin, a pressed leaf. At the end of the day, touch it and say your 2-word anchor once. The object becomes a physical marker of the inward choice to offer mercy and receive it Overtime. The object collects the small gestures of release. It serves as proof that the practice is real. I will read a short portion from the book later that echoes this ease. For now, hold the image of a single light at the path's edge. Let it be enough to show the next step. Do not measure the night by how quickly the destination is reached. Measure it by the gentleness of the step taken. Finding also invites gratitude as a counterbalance to pain. Not a long list. One small thing, a warm mug, Acuet Street, a soft hand in passing. Say thank you to that one thing. Let it sit beside the hurt on the inner table. Presence can hold both. The room within grows larger when both are allowed to rest there. If reconciliation is possible with someone, think in terms of tiny bridges. A bridge can be a single plank at first. Do not commit to crossing the whole river tonight. Place one plank and test it. The small test often lets courage grow without forcing false haste. If the other person is not safe to approach, build the bridge in private by offering an internal forgiveness and a choice to act differently next time. Sometimes finding means noticing the ordinary mercies of the day and letting them collect. A door that opens easily, the coolness of water on a hot hand, a neighbor's brief smile. These things are quiet, but real. Gather one and hold it in the mind for a few slow breaths. The collection will form a small bank of warmth that pays for calm when worry asks for rent. If tears are needed, let them. They loosen what words bind. If laughter comes, accept it as light work the night performs. Both are natural movements of a heart that is making space. I close this part with a brief encouragement. Keep the anchor phrase. Keep the touch point. Keep the small step for tomorrow. These three simple things are a gentle toolkit for nights that tilt toward worry. Use them without ceremony. Return to them as often as the night requires. Now breathe with me once more. Inhale for 4. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Let the breath carry a single phrase outward. Mercy returns. Feel the rhythm steady the chest. Let the hands unclench. Let the eyelids grow heavy at their own pace. I rest the book on my lap. The lamp makes a modest circle. The room listens. I will read again in time. For now, let the small compass of mercy turn in the chest. Let the seam of forgiveness loosen one stitch. Sleep comes slowly. It comes easier when finding is practiced, like a quiet craft. May mercy meet you. May the night hold you kindly. I lift the book and let my fingers rest on the page. The lamp keeps its small circle. My voice comes slow. Tonight I press a single word into the quiet grace. I name a scripture to you that carries a soft weight. I do not read it aloud as a law. I let it be a lamp. It speaks of grace being enough, even when strength feels thin. The line says that power shows up most clearly where weakness is true. I offer that idea like a warm cup drink if you wish. Grace is not earned. It is given. That difference matters in the quiet. Earning is a ladder you climb. Gift is a hand that meets you where you stand. Imagine a bowl held open beneath a slow rain. The bowl does nothing to deserve the drops. It simply receives them. So my gros fall tonight. I speak of weakness without shame. Weakness is not a verdict. It is a place where help can touch skin. Think of a thin crack in a pot. Water finds the crack and soaks the soil around it. From that seepage, a small green shoots. The crack does not spoil the pot. It becomes the place life enters. Let that image be a small comfort. Now a soft practice to hold. Rest your hands where they lie. Turn the palms up. Breathe in slowly for 3 counts. Hold the breath for a count of stillness. Exhale and imagine a gentle warmth settling into the palms. Name the warmth grace in your mind. Say the single phrase grace enough with the out-breath. Let the phrase arrive as a small seed. Repeat it twice more with the breathing. Place one quiet thing on your bedside table in the imagination. It can be a pebble, a coin, an old button. Lay the single weakness you carry beside it in the scene of mind. Give the weakness one short name only. A breath releases it onto the table. Watch a steady hand in your mind. Lift it and place it where it can be tended. The hand does not hurry. It does not inspect in harsh light. It simply sets the burden down and smooths the cloth around it. I read aloud gently from the page. The words talk of strength and where it comes from. The book says that when we admit our limits, a different kind of power arrives. It is a lending of energy, not a substitution of will. Consider a candle lighting another candle. The first flame does not lose heat. The second flame begins to glow. Weakness is the place where that passing happens. If shame visits, do not argue with it. Notice it, like a bird at the window. Name it softly once, then return to the breathing and to the palm. Shame warps the view. Grace widens it again. Think of a small cloud passing over a bright day. The light is still there, waiting until the cloud moves on. A short practice for the mind. Choose one small truth to hold tonight. Mine is simple, and plain grace meets me here. Keep it to 2 words if that helps. Repeat the phrase, on the out-breath. Mercy rests on the in-breath. Let the phrase be like a short rope to hold when the wind picks up. I also offer a touch point exercise. Place a finger on the hollow at the collarbone. Feel the tiny dip. Breathe into that point. Imagine a soft light pooling there. The light is not fierce. It is a warm kind of watchfulness. With each breath, the light grows a little and then rests. The body reads that softness and relaxes a small amount each time. Do not rush the offering. Grace does not move like a storm. It moves like a tide that takes time. Some nights it lifts the whole chest at once. Other nights it moves an inch at the toe. Both are real. Both are enough. If guilt nags and insists on wearing the night thin, practice a short ritual. Write one sentence to yourself on a piece of paper. Keep the sentence gentle. Do not argue for justice. State only a fact and a small promise. I will try again tomorrow. Fold the paper and put it aside. The act of writing and folding shows the mind that something is seen and will be cared for later. It is a small, practical way to receive grace and keep moving. I speak now of receiving. Receiving is an action requiring permission. Sometimes the body refuses gifts because it fears debt. Tonight, give permission. Tell the chest quietly that it may accept warmth. Say yes in the mind to rest. Allow the hands to unclench. Permission is a tiny key that opens a door. If the night brings fear of not doing enough, name one task you can complete tomorrow that honors rest. Keep it small. 5 minutes. A single phone call. A note. The promise of one small step frees the mind from imagining endless tasks. It is a practical handoff. Do what you can tomorrow. Rest tonight. I read another short image that lives in the margin of the text. It shows a gardener who waters a parched furrow in small scoops. The gardener does not flood the field all at once. The steady scooping brings life back. Bit by bit, grace works the same way. Do not expect a sudden flood. Expect patient ending. Now, a brief prayer in a tone that is low and honest. I do not offer it as a formula. I speak it as one who reads and tends the hour. I ask for a simple steadiness. Receive this prayer inwardly, if you wish. Let this grace be close. Let it rest on the places that ache. Let hope stay small and sure. There is no need for grand words. The prayer is a quiet invitation. Before I leave this part, consider forgiveness linked to grace. Forgiveness is one way grace moves through the night. It is not a demand, but an opening. You do not have to forgive all at once. Perhaps one small softening is enough for tonight. Let it begin where you can bear it. A single loosened knot helps the whole garment hang straighter. If sleep resists, do not measure the night by it. Rest is wider than sleep. Listening to my voice, holding a palm up, repeating the anchor phrase, these are rests. Let them count. The body repairs in quiet ways that are not always seen. Trust the slow work. I will leave a short space now for silence. Use it to feel the light in the collarbone, the warmth in the palms, the breathing that keeps time. In that silence, place one small thing into grace. A name, a fear, a tired plan. Offer it as one would offer a small wrapped gift. The act is the receiving. Pause for gentle breaths. When the pause ends, take one more breath with me. Inhale fully for 3 quiet counts. Hold for a soft moment. Exhale and say the anchor. Once grace enough, let the words rest at the end of the breath, like a small bell. I close this section with a blessing held close to the chest. May grace find the places you keep tightly bound. May it ease the shoulders and settle the jaw. May the night bring a peace that is not forced but given. The lamp keeps its watch. The book remains open. I stay here as one who reads to you before sleep. Rest, when it comes, is welcomed. Rest, even awake, is a gift you may receive. I picture a night illuminated by kind lamplight. The glow is small and steady. It pools on the quilt. It warms the page I hold. Outside, the street hums low and distant. Inside, the room breathes in the slow rhythm we have kept together. I read from the book with the same careful pace. The passage I choose tonight sketches a small story of grace. It is not a long tale. It is quiet and close. It begins with someone who walks a familiar road in the dark. The road is not threatening. It is simply dim. The traveler notices a limp they have carried for years. The limp makes steps shorter. Each step asks more of the muscles. Each step calls for gentleness. The story grows around a small gift. A stranger on the roadside lifts a lantern a little higher. The lantern's light does not solve every path. It makes one more safe step visible. The traveler needs that single step. The light lets the foot find the place to set down. The gift is simple. It is enough. I let the image settle in the room. Think of the lantern as grace. It does not erase difficulty. It meets it. It helps one small foot move forward. The night holds this scene like a slow photograph. No loud music. No drama. Just a hand that steadies and a breath that lengthens. I read onward. The text says that strength sometimes arrives through the places we name weak. That idea sits gently in the line between pages. It is not a rule to carry like a burden. It is more like a promise given at a bedside. When the traveler admits the limp, help arrives not as shame, but as help. The weak place becomes the opening for power that does not boast. Power moves in the quiet places where hands reach and hold. Breathe with me now. Inhale slow. Count 3 in the mind. Hold one soft beat. Exhale a longer count. Count 4 as you let the breath go. The out-breath is long enough to unshackle something small. With each cycle, picture the lantern glowing wider. The chest eases. The jaw loosens. The story shifts to a second scene. A child wakes in the dark. Their small hands worry a blanket. A neighbor, who hears the tiny stirring, comes and sets a small mug of warm milk on the windowsill. The child does not know how to ask for comfort. The neighbor knows how to give it. The milk is ordinary. Its warmth steadies trembling fingers. The neighbor's action is quiet and routine for them. For the child, it changes the night. Grace often appears like that. It is not a spectacle. It is a cup set down where shaking hands can find it. It is a touch on a shoulder that does not shout. It is the simple readiness of a presence that meets need without fanfare. Hold that picture. Let it feel near. I press a short paraphrase from a familiar passage into the rhythm of the tale. A voice in the scriptures speaks of strength, meeting weakness. It says that when human strength is thin, a different kind of power steps in. I do not unpack theology now. I invite the phrase to be a lantern on the path. Keep it as a small thought. Help is close when strength is low. If any part of the story stirs a memory, let it be gentle. Perhaps a time when support came unexpectedly. Perhaps a late phone call that steadied a hand. Let the memory be as small as the lamp's circle. Do not worry about details. The point is the feeling noticed. Met. Steadied. I offer a tiny exercise to make this rest practical. Rest the hands, palms up. Breathe slowly. On the in-breath, imagine a thin, quiet light filling the palms. On the out-breath, name that light simply "this will do." Say the words inwardly. Let them land like small pebbles. Repeat 3 times. The phrase is not a proof. It is an invitation to accept small help as enough for now. The tale continues with an image of a cracked pot by an old well. Water leaks slowly from the crack, and the soil near the crack grows a wild green patch. The broken part of the pot becomes the very place where life blooms. The story does not romanticize the break. It notices that what seems like weakness sometimes becomes the way blessing finds shape. The broken edge is not the problem alone. It is the opening. This evening, I read such small pictures because night often simplifies things. Daytime hides seams with busyness. Night strips the schedules down and shows what remains. The faithful hand, the offered light, the warm cup. These remain. They do not promise to fix all. They promise company. They promise help measures that fit a single step. Let the breath follow the images. Inhale 4 counts. Hold 2 light beats. Exhale 6 long counts. The long exhale is a soft surrender. It tells the body the night is permitted to soften. There is a short prayer I offer quietly. Now, it is simple and low. It asks that the grace described by the story touch the places that ache. It asks that weakness not be a final verdict, but a doorway for help. Speak it once in your mind if you wish, or let the silence itself be the prayer. Both are a kindness. The story then shows an evening where forgiveness is offered as a small lamp. A neighbor makes a small apology over offense. It is not dramatic. It is measured and honest. The apology does not remove the past. It changes the present. Trust takes a tiny step back across an old gap. The lamp between houses burns steady. Trust grows by inches. Forgiveness and grace are relatives in this tale. Both are small acts that relieve the body of more weight. Forgiveness does not force forgetting. It loosens clenched fists. It frees hands to hold a cup or to open a door. Grace accepts the opening. It does not demand a complete fix. It shows what is possible next. If heavy thoughts come now, I invite a naming exercise. Name one single worry. Say it once. With no embellishment. Place it on an imaginary table at your bedside. Turn away and breathe. Imagine a hand gently taking the worry and setting it down where it can be watched. The act of seeing the worry outside of the chest often reduces its urgency. It becomes an object in the room, not dictator of the night. Remember that night stories are not tests. They are maps for calm. The map I read tonight shows simple routes. A lantern here, a warm cup there, a neighbor's hand across a fence. These are the small things that make laying down possible. There is a moment in the story where the traveler pauses and says nothing. They simply let the lantern light the next step, and then the next. No plan to run the road in one stride. Just one measured step after another. That pace is the pace of mercy. It does not hurry healing. It does not shame slowness. I read a closing line from the book that feels like a hush grace meets us in the room where weakness lives. I let those words remain unhurried. They are not a command. They are a bedside truth. Now, a brief practice for sleep. Keep the anchor image in mind, the small lantern. On the in-breath, draw the light toward the chest. On the out-breath, let the light settle in the palms. Repeat twice. Let limbs grow heavier. Let the lamp in the mind grow dimmer and kinder. Do not force sleep. Let the body decide when to yield. If tears come, let them pass. They wash in the same way small rain cleans a window. If a smile comes at the memory of some late kindness, allow it to bloom. Both responses are welcome. Both are part of Grace's quiet work. As this part comes to close, I leave a short blessing beside the pillow. May the small lights of the night find you. May each weakness be a place where help can touch. May rest come as a gentle tide, and not as a sudden flood. Keep a single phrase in reserve for the dark held by Grace. Say it once in the mind when the night presses. Let it be a soft rope back to calm. I close the book with care. The lamp keeps its circle. The room stays steady. The story rests where it belongs in the quiet, between breaths. I will return with another passage in time. For now, stay with the lantern and the cup. Allow the small kindnesses to collect around the heart. Let the breath lengthen. Let the hands relax. The night keeps watch. And grace is enough for this step. I open the book and let the lamp paint a soft circle on the page. The room holds its breath with me. This part of the evening I call Open the Heart to Peace. It is an invitation to make a small place inside where peace may sit. Think of peace, not as a duty to achieve, but as a guest to welcome. I begin with a simple picture. Imagine the heart as a little house. The door can be heavy from days of worry. It may have many locks. Tonight, unlock one small latch. Let the door swing inward an inch. The room inside is not grand. It is a warm corner with a low chair and a window that looks out on a slow sky. Invite the guest to sit there. The pages I read tonight speak in quiet images. One passage paints a field where the grass is soft and the air is gentle. Someone lays down without pretending they are without wear. Rest is allowed. The invitation is plain. Come and let the body be tended. Let that invitation be for the heart too. Peace asks only that the door be opened a little. I offer a short practice to match the picture. Rest a hand over the chest, just above the breastbone. Notice the rise and fall beneath the palm. Breathe in for 3 soft counts. Hold for 1 small beat. Exhale slowly for 4. With each out-breath, imagine the little house inside the rib cage, breathing out tightness. With each in-breath, picture a gentle light entering the crack of the door. The light is peace. It moves without force. Name one thing that keeps the door shut. It may be a specific worry, a memory, an ache. Say the name once in the mind. Do not turn it over like a pest. Place it on the floor of that inner room, as if setting down a heavy coat. The coat is not burned or forgotten. It simply rests on a peg. This small separation is not denial. It is a practical move that saves energy for gentler tasks. Invite peace with a short phrase. Keep it 2 words. My phrase is heart rest. Choose something that fits. Say it on the out-breath. Repeat it 3 times with the breathing. The phrase is not an answer. It is a marker that helps the mind find its way back when it wanders. Think of it as a small rope tied to the chair in that inner room. When thoughts pull, the rope steadies. The Bible I read by the bedside often returns to images of shelter and quiet waters. It does not promise a life without trouble. It promises a steady presence that makes a room for rest. Imagine that presence as a warm hand smoothing a blanket over tired knees. It is tender and practical. Let that tenderness be real enough to touch the skin of the chest. When fear arrives like a sudden draft, do not be harsh. Notice the draft as a draft. Name it once, then bring the breath and the phrase back. Place the hand again over the heart. Feel the palm's gentle heat. The body learns a language of calm through these small signals. Repetition teaches the nervous system to accept a softer tempo. A short ritual can make this invitation more visible. Find a small object near the bed. It need not be precious. A pebble. A coin. A pressed leaf will do. Place it at the bedside and touch it when the mind grows loud. With the touch, say the anchor phrase silently. The object becomes a witness to the practice. Over time, its presence will remind the mind of the room inside where peace sits. Peace also grows with thanks. After naming a worry and placing it on the peg, find one small kindness from the day. Name it quietly. A warm mug. A short greeting. A small task completed. Say thank you inwardly and let the gratitude sit beside the coat. The two can live on the same peg. The presence that watches the room takes both without confusion. Mercy and hope live together there. I guide a breathing pattern for deeper settling. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Repeat 3 times. Let the longer out-breath be the channel that carries away tightness. The body notes the rhythm and slows its own pulse. With each cycle, the inner room becomes more hospitable. The light in the doorway grows steadier. If resistance comes, if a thought insists on the door staying closed, welcome the resistance as another guest. Do not fight it. Ask it if it will sit for a moment. Sometimes, simply naming resistance dissolves its urgency. The night tolerates many moods when they are met without panic. Meeting is an act of presence, not a contest. I read now a small paraphrase from a familiar psalm. The words show a table set in calm places and a hand that steadies the anxious heart. I do not argue about the lines. I let them sit like a soft tune. The tune guides the breath. It reminds the mind that rest is not theft from responsibility. Rest is a wise cup set down when hands need steadiness. When the heart is open even a little, peace may move from visitor to housemate. It will not necessarily remain every hour. It may go and return. Notice its comings and goings without demanding permanence. Even a brief visit changes the room's light. A single evening of peace can repair small frays that frayed over many mornings. If sleep does not come, do not judge the night. Rest is broader than sleep. Listening to the voice, following the breathing, holding the anchor phrase, these are forms of rest. They are repairs, offered quietly. The body repairs in stages, and the mind finds new paths for hope. Mercy meets the awake hours as gently as it meets sleep. A short prayer now, offered low and simple, not ornate, not loud. A quiet asking, let peace dwell here. Let it sit gently in the chest and give the mind room to soften. Let mercy meet the places that ache. Let hope come slowly and stay as a small lamp beside the bed. Speak it inwardly, or let the silence itself hold the prayer. Both ways are listening. There is another simple act to consider. Before sleep, place your hands under the blanket and close the fingers gently. Notice the sensation at the fingertips. Think of the palms as small caves that hold warmth. With each out-breath, imagine a thin light pooling in those caves. The light is peace taking form. It changes the posture of the hands and the rest posture of the arms. These small shifts tell the body it is safe to release. If tears come, let them move. Tears are a language of clearing. They make room for gentler things. If laughter comes, accept it as a breath of light in a dark room. Both are honest companions on a quiet night. The presence that watches does not flinch at either. One more short exercise to carry forward. In the morning, when the day is new, find a single minute to touch the anchor object and say the two-word phrase. It need not be long. The repeated practice stitches the night's openness into the day's tempo. Mercy follows habit and time. Hope grows in small, repeated gestures. As this part draws to a close, rest the hand where it lies on the chest. Take one last slow breath together. Inhale, soft and full. Hold without strain. Exhale and release a small sound. A calm sigh. Feel how an inch of room appears in the ribs. Feel how the jaw eases. Let the lamp keep watch. Before I turn the page, I leave a blessing by the bedside. May peace find a small seat in the heart tonight. May mercy sit near and steady. May hope in Christ arrive like a quiet guest and make a place at the table. Keep the anchor phrase within reach. Let the breath and the lamp guide the slow steps. The next part will come when the rhythm is ready. For now, let the heart open an inch more and welcome the soft company of peace. I lift the book and feel the page warm under my palm. The lamp keeps a small pool of light. The room breathes with quiet. Tonight, I turn to a single line that rests in a shallow place of the heart. It is a promise I read aloud, because promises settle the mind. I speak the thought softly. It says this perfect peace comes to minds that stay steady when trust rests where it belongs. The phrase is short. It is not a command. It is an offering. I do not build a long argument. I let the sentence sit like a gentle stone in the hand. I name the words slowly. I do not expect the mind to hold everything at once. I let each word arrive like breath. Perfect. Peace. Minds. Steadfast. Trust. Each one lands and then waits. The waiting is important. It gives the heart room to find a small place inside, to receive the words. When I read the line, I do not speak to teach. I read to calm. The idea of perfect peace can sound large. I make it small. I say that peace is the steady center in the chest. It is the softness beneath the clench. It is not the absence of noise. It is the hush that holds the noise kindly. Steadfastness is not iron. Will. It is a steady gaze. It is keeping attention on a single lamp in a noisy place. The lamp does not stop the night. It simply makes the next step clear. Likewise, trust is not a performance. It is a simple choice to let one steady presence guide the mind when other voices try to crowd in. I read the phrase again, even if only in quiet. I let it echo between breaths. On the in-breath, I imagine a small warmth gathering in the chest. On the out-breath, I imagine the warmth settling into a seat. The mind finds a cushion. The heart finds a quiet chair. These images help the muscles accept gentleness. Now, I offer a small practice that fits into the bed. It is short and kind. Rest both hands lightly on the belly. Feel the steady rise and fall under them. Breathe in for 3 plain counts. Hold for 1 calm beat. Breathe out for 5 slow counts. With each out-breath, say in the mind the simple phrase, steady trust. Let the words ride the breath like a small boat on a quiet river. Do this 3 times. The first time, feel the breath fill the lower ribs. The second time, notice how the shoulders release a little. The third time, sense a narrow place inside the chest. Soften. The breath and the phrase do not force peace. They invite it to sit nearer. I also suggest a tiny act of placement. Picture a small table beside the bed, inside the imagining. On the table lies a cloth folded neat. With the mind, place 1 worry on that cloth. It need not be a long inventory. Choose the single most pressing thing tonight. Lay it there. Watch a steady hand in the imagination lift that worry and set it down on the table where it can be watched without clutching. This is not avoidance. It is a practical move. The mind learns to set what it cannot fix down where care can attend it. The hand that receives it in the imagination is not far away. It is close, kind, and constant. The act of placing changes who carries the weight. I speak a small sentence about trust. Trust does not remove the need for wise steps tomorrow. It alters where the burden rests at night. It lets the hands relax enough to sleep. Trust is like placing a lantern on a post. The lantern does not stride forward. It makes the next footfall visible, and thus safer. If the mind presses questions, invite it to list only 3 brief words, and then stop. Naming a few facts quiets the circling. For example, health concern. Vill du? Hard word to say. Name each in a few breaths, and then set them on the table, in the imagination. The act of naming keeps thoughts from turning into storms. I also guide a short touch practice. Press the pad of a thumb gently against the middle of the chest, just above the sternum. Rest there for the length of 1 slow breath. The touch anchors the attention. The body learns an easy signal that says, the moment is safe. Use that signal when the night wants to hurry the mind. Now I read aloud a small paraphrase from the page. It is not long. It speaks of a mind kept steady by trust and of a peace that arrives like a hush after a storm. The passage does not promise a sudden stopping of trouble. It promises a heart that is tended through it. The images in the passage are plain and human. Hands fold a blanket. A flame is sheltered from wind. A traveler rests their head on a friend's shoulder. The scene asks only to be noticed. I do not push the scene into heavy doctrine. I keep it practical. Notice where the eyes soften on the image. Notice where the jaw lets go. These small physical responses are the proof that the practice works softly. If sleep still resists, use a steady hum. Breathe in, and on the out-breath make no sound with the lips, but feel the breath hum in the chest. The hum steadies the nervous system. It is an old way to quiet the mind. Combine it with the anchor phrase, steady trust, and the hum becomes a friend to the phrase. I offer a short invitation to prayer. It is quiet and simple. In the mind, say, I place this here. I rest a moment in trust. No long sentence. No polished speech. Just the honest act of setting down. The prayer is not a magic that erases difficulty. It is a practice that opens a hand when forgiveness or regret visits tonight. Place that feeling on the same table. Do not try to fix it now. Let it sit where it can be tended. Forgiveness often begins with a small act, a willingness to stop holding the object so tight. That small willingness releases energy for gentler things. I remind myself as I read that the promise of perfect peace is not pressure to feel transcendent. It is a patient saying that steadiness of mind and trust make a room for peace to enter. The door need not open wide. An inch is enough. That inch allows the light to come. Now I let the room sit in silence for several breaths. Use the silence to return to the touch of the chest. Use it to place one worry on the imagined table. Use it to speak steady trust inwardly once or twice. These tiny acts gather like threads into a softer rope for the night. Pause for a few slow breaths. I return to the book and close the small circle of thought with a gentle line. May the mind find its steadiness tonight. May trust have a small and visible place to rest. May the peace that follows be gentle and close. I set the book on my lap and feel the lamp's warmth. The night keeps its hush. Before I move on, I leave a brief blessing at the bedside. Rest be yours. In the slow way it comes. Mercy meet the places that ache. Hope breathe quietly in the heart. Trust a little. Take one small step. Let the peace thread itself through that step and keep you company until morning. Shasan, the gift of the present moment. I set the book on my knee and close my eyes for a slow breath. The lamp hovers at the edge of sight. The room keeps its hush. I remind myself to rest in the now, not to chase the past, not to run ahead to tomorrow. I stay with the small present. I speak softly as I read. My voice is steady. It does not demand strong feeling. It asks only attention. The present moment is a narrow room. It fits the whole heart. If the heart removes its heavy coat, I explain what present means in small images. A cup still warm in the hands, the weight of a blanket across the knees, a small clock ticking. These are not grand things. They are enough. They are the place where care can touch most easily. I read aloud a short line from the Bible. It is a phrase about being near now. The line is a lamp. I do not unpack it into doctrine. I let it land as warmth. The words nudge the mind back to the breath. I invite a simple practice. Place both palms on the thighs. Feel the fabric under the skin. Breathe in slowly. Count 3 in the mind. Hold for 1 soft beat. Breathe out and count 4. Repeat. The breath becomes an anchor. The palms notice textures. The small things come forward and steady the chest. I guide attention to senses in turn. Listen for the smallest room sounds, a hum of distant tires, the slow creak of the house settling, a faint clock. Let the ear catalogue 2 or 3 of these sounds without story. Then shift to touch. The coolness where the blanket meets the arm. The warmth at the nape of the neck. Note 2 things. Then move to smell. Any faint scent of tea, of linen, of night air. Name 1 and let it sit. These tiny acts keep the mind from racing. I emphasize letting go. But I do so gently. Letting go is not erasing the past. It is loosening the hands. Imagine fingers opening a closed fist, just enough for a small stone to slip free. The stone is acknowledged. It is not flung away. The act is simple. The hand relaxes. I do not demand big feelings. I offer small choices. When a memory rises, I name it in 1 word. The naming is brief and calm. Then I return to the breath. The memory sits in the mind like a guest on a chair. It is not a storm. The presence of God is like a quiet lamp in the corner. The lamp gives enough light to see the guest without fear. I read an image of guidance. The image does not fix every outcome. It shows a steady hand at the elbow as steps are taken. The hand is near. It is not distant. It meets each step as it is made. This is the kind of guidance I invite for the present moment. I invite another short practice called the 5 senses ground. Hear 1 sound. See 1 small shape in the dark. Feel 1 point of contact. Smell 1 faint scent. Taste 1 remaining flavor on the tongue. These 5 notes form a chord that brings the mind home. The chord does not have to hold long. A few breaths is enough. I caution against forcing peace. Peace that is forced feels brittle. Instead, I pray quietly for gentle rest. My prayer is small. It asks for the grace to sit with what is, not to rush or to judge. The prayer is a hand that loosens the grip, not a sharp command. I tell a short memory without drama. Once I held a warm mug late at night and watched dust motes move like slow stars. The world felt small and safe. That scene returns when the mind tightens. Small images like this act as anchors. They do not explain life. They steady a single hour. I encourage letting the breath carry a single short phrase. Mine is simple here and now. Say it inwardly on the out-breath. Let the phrase touch the chest and settle. Repeat as needed. The repetition is a rope that tugs attention back whenever it wanders. I offer a practice for hard moments. If worry drums in the head, picture it as rain on a roof. Hear the sound. Name it once. Then imagine stepping into a small room and closing the door. The rain still falls, but the room is dry and warm. The act is not denial. It is sheltering. Shelter lets the mind rest enough to see clearly. I speak of trust in the present as a small choice. Trust is a decision to leave certain things in steady hands. Not to be reckless, not to refuse wise action, but to place the heavy load where it can be tended and to keep the hands free for breath and sleep. The practice is not magic. It is a trained muscle. I read again a short, quiet line from Scripture about dwelling in light. The line is soft. It offers no argument. It gives a place to look. The phrase sits between breaths and widens the chest by a hair. I remind myself that the present moment is where mercy meets wounds. Mercy arrives, not always as solution, but as presence. It is a cooling cloth. It does not erase the hurt. It makes space where healing can begin. Mercy and presence travel best together. I close the part with a small ritual. Rest the head on the pillow for a long breath. Hold the breath a moment. Release slowly. With the out-breath, let go of one named worry. Place it on the bedside table in mind. Walk to the window of the present and look out with calm eyes. The night is wide. The breath is steady. The moment is held in kind hands. I finish this section with a short blessing. May the present hold what needs holding. May the night be simple. May mercy be near. The lamp keeps its watch. I will read again soon. 14. Reflecting on the day. I turn the page and let a new thought enter. Reflection is not analysis. It is a gentle folding. It brings the day to a close in simple strokes. I do this as one who reads at the bedside. The act is slow and kind. I begin with small questions. What small thing warmed the day? What thin mercy turned up? When least expected, I do not ask for long lists. One small answer is enough. The mind takes the single fact and rests. I read a short passage that invites quiet review. The passage does not demand perfection. It simply asks for honesty. Look at one moment. Name it. Acknowledge what went well. Notice one thing that was hard. Let both stand without argument. I guide a short exercise in gratitude. Take 1 minute. Breathe slowly. Think of one small mercy. A friend's brief text. A simple meal. A table that held a child's drawing. Rest on that mercy for 3 breaths. Let the memory warm the chest. Gratitude does not deny pain. It widens the room where pain sits. I suggest a small step for tomorrow. Nothing grand. A short note. A gentle call. A 5-minute action that moves toward repair where needed. The step is a bridge. It is not a burden. It gives the mind a place to land instead of spinning. I read a line from Scripture about giving thanks in all things. I do not press the phrase into a harsh duty. I keep it soft. Giving thanks is a habit that grows like a small plant. It needs tiny waterings. Tonight, 1 drop is enough. I encourage a brief accounting of emotion. Name one feeling that carried most weight today. Do not argue with it. Say it once and set it down. Feel the shoulders ease a little. The act of seeing a feeling makes it less like a shadow and more like an object that can be tended. I offer a short practice of letting go for what cannot be fixed tonight. Picture a small bundle tied but waiting. Place it on a bench by a path. Leave it there for the night. Return to it tomorrow, if needed. The bench holds. The setting down is not a surrender of duty. It is practical rest. I invite soft repentance where it is due. But I keep it brief. Say a single, honest line to God. Nothing rehearsed. Nothing long. A truth and a request for help to do better tomorrow. The tone is humble and quiet. The purpose is clearing, not punishment. I read a small image of a shepherd folding a cloak over a traveler. The image is simple. It shows care. It asks only to let the cloak be wrapped. The mind hears the image and softens. I close the time of reflection with a short ritual. Place both hands together loosely over the heart. Breathe in. On the out-breath, whisper a simple thanks. Let the thanks be small. Let it be true. The act stitches the day closed. I give a final blessing for this section. May reflection bring clarity that is kind. May tomorrow's small steps be clear. May mercy and hope meet the day's edges. The lamp is low. The book rests. The night watches with a steady hush. I pause now. I will turn the page when the room and the breath feel ready. For now, hold the present and the day together in gentle hands. The reading continues when the hour invites it. I lift the book and rest my hand on the margin where the thought waits. The lamp throws a gentle arc of light. The room listens. Tonight I shape a small corner of the hour around a single gift, the wisdom spoken by someone who loves me. It is the kind of advice that feels like a warm hand at the small of the back. It steadies without hurry. A loved one's words often come with a plainness that stays. They do not arrive as lectures. They arrive as small offerings. A mother's patience, a father's soft counsel, a close friend's steady view. These are invisible lamps. They appear when night is long. They give an angle of light for a single step. I recall a line my grandmother used to carry in her mind. She never said grand things. Her wisdom moved like a slow stitch. It taught me to set the next thing before the next thing, not to solve every problem at once, to do the small, kind tasks in front of me, and let the rest wait. The memory of her hands folding a towel, slow and exact, feels like a lesson I can wear. When worry presses, that image becomes a quiet rule. Begin where your hands are. A friend taught a different kind of lesson. They showed how to name a fear and place it on the table. The act was simple. Say the name once. Lay it down. Do not carry it on the shoulder through the night. That lesson is a beacon I borrow. When the mind circles, naming a worry gives the brain a peg to hang the thought on. It shrinks the size of panic. It makes sleep less remote. These pieces of wisdom are not fanciful. They are honest. They are small acts of kindness passed along. They are like beacons God sets in the life through people who stand close. The relationships we have are not merely social. They are ways God speaks in the soft language of ordinary care. When I read the Bible to you tonight, I often read with those voices beside me. Their counsel lights a simple path through the dark. I turn the page where Psalm 23 rests, and I come upon a line that asks for quiet attention. I do not recite it as a test. I let it land gently, even in a dark valley. There is no need to fear. Presence walks beside the footstep. The rod and staff are images of comfort and guidance. They are not threats. They are steady tools that shepherds use to keep small feet sure. When I breathe with that picture, the chest loosens. I do not press heavy meanings into this verse. I let its picture be plain, a steady hand at the elbow, a lamp held low to show the next stone. The valley is real. At times the dark is close, and the path narrows. Yet the presence is nearer still. That closeness is not loud. It is a soft hold, It steadies the shoulders, so the next step can be taken without trembling. Now I invite a small practice you can do in bed. It is quiet and concrete. First, recall a single piece of wisdom from someone you trust. Make it a short memory. Achestur. An image. A phrase. It need not be long. See the face. See the hands. Let the memory sit as a lamp at the bedside. Next, breathe slowly with the image. Inhale for 3 calm counts. Hold 1 gentle beat. Exhale for 4. Repeat twice. With each out-breath, imagine placing the worry loosely beside the lamp. Watch how the lamp's circle casts a small, warm pool. The memory of the loved one becomes like the shepherd's staff, something to lean on. It does not solve all. It makes the next step visible. Now consider the Psalms picture again, and let it touch the memory. See the lamp, the staff, the steady hand. Picture that presence standing beside the one who spoke wisdom into your life. The two supports meet human counsel and quiet presence, and the night feels less like a cliff and more like a path with a guardrail. If a name of a loved one comes up, say it inwardly once. Let the sound be brief and kind. Do not turn it into a long litany. Hold it like a pebble. The pebble is small and warm in the palm of thought. Let it anchor the heart. I do this often before sleep, a single name. 1 breath. A quiet thank you. The action is not complicated. Its simplicity is the point. There is another gentle exercise for memory and mercy. Take a sheet of the imagination and fold it in the mind. On the top fold place, the wisdom you were given. Underneath, place the anxious thought you hold tonight. Fold again, so the two are together, but not tangled. Lay the folded page on the bedside table in the imagining. Watch a steady hand in the mind smooth the cloth over them both. The smoothing is small. It makes room. People's counsel often reminds us of small truths we already knew but had buried. A friend's phrase might return clarity to a muddled thought. A parent's quiet counsel might remind the chest to soften. These returns are gifts. They arrive like someone bringing a blanket and tucking it around the knees. Let such a return warm a corner of the evening. I also suggest a short touch practice to go with the memory. Rest one hand over the heart. Feel the rhythm there. The touch is not about pressure. It is about presence. Keep the memory of the loved one in the other hand of the mind. Breathe slowly and imagine the two hands, palms and memory meeting as a steady pair. The physical contact and the inner image together make a small shelter. Sometimes, wisdom from a loved one includes a phrase that sounds like a command, but works like a balm. Slow down. Start small. Call a friend. Take that kind of phrase and make it a bedside refrain. Keep it 2 or 3 words. Say it softly on the exhale. Use it when the mind wanders into hurry. The shortness of the phrase makes it easy to hold. It becomes a rope you can cling to until the night stills. When the valley narrows and the shadow is close, remember that presence does not always erase feeling. It walks through the dark with you. The rod and staff in the psalm are not set to punish. They are tools used to guide a wavering foot. They keep the step sure. Let that image be the shape of grace tonight. a tool used not to frighten, but to steady. If regret comes forward when you try to sleep, do not let it be the star of the hour. Nærme regret onse. Offer it the lamp of the loved one's wisdom. Let that wisdom act as a gentle mirror. See the small lessons learned. Then place the regret on the folded paper at the bedside. It is watched. It is not abandoned. The act of placing lessens its size. A short blessing follows in this quiet tone. I say it softly in the mind to close the practice. May the wisdom that loved you guide your foot tonight. May the presence that walks beside you steady each step. May mercy meet the heavy places and make them softer. Keep the blessing like a thin lantern on the table. Before I turn the page, take one more slow breath with me. Inhale and feel the chest fill. Hold briefly. Exhale and feel the shoulders lower. Let the hand on the heart rest there. Let the memory of the loved one's wisdom rest, like a small light against the ribs. Let the Psalm's picture stand as a promise that presence will not leave. I close this section with an intentional pause. In that quiet, you may hold a single image, a hand at the elbow, a lamp held low, a familiar voice folding a towel. Keep that image near. If sleep comes, it will find company if it waits. Mercy and hope will sit together by the bed. The reading will continue in time, with the same slow care. For now, rest in the shared wisdom and the quiet steadiness that keeps watch. I lift the book and let the lamp spill a circle of warmth. The page breathes under my hand. Tonight I turn a slow page to the valley. The image is not dramatic. It is close and quiet. A valley can be simply low light. It can be a tight path between tired stones. It can be the place where the chest feels narrow. I speak as one who reads beside the bed. My voice moves slow. The valley is a place I know in small ways. It comes as loss, as tiredness, as a day that will not turn. It comes as a quiet ache that lives under routine. The valley is not a verdict. It is a part of the map. Presence walks there. The presence is not a far announcement. It is a steady step on the near path. Think of someone who comes to the edge of the road, not to shout advice, but to lay a lantern on a rock. The light is enough to show the next stone. This is the kind of comfort I read of. It steadies without demanding. When the valley feels deep, name the shape of it once. Say the word in the mind: grief, fear, fatigue. The naming is small. It brings the feeling into view, like a lamp brought into a dark room. Once seen, the thing does not have the power to multiply in secrecy. It becomes an object in the room that can be tended. Place one hand over the heart. Feel its rhythm. The body keeps time even when thought races. Let the hand rest there like a small blanket. Breathe in slowly for 3. Hold for a quiet beat. Breathe out for 4. Do this twice. Each breath is a little tending. The body listens to such small motions. Muscles ease a degree. The valley does not leave. The shoulders stop doing all the work. I read of a steady companion who does not hurry a step. The companion is like a shepherd who walks beside a limp ankle. The shepherd knows the stones by sight. The shepherd knows where the ground gives. That knowledge is not harsh. It is a careful kindness. It does not pretend away pain. It offers a hand to steady the foot. Imagine a pool in a low place. The water is still. It reflects a small patch of sky. The pool does not solve the road. It cools tired feet. Put one worry on the surface of that water in the mind. Watch it float. Do not throw the stone hard. Place it gently. The water keeps it visible. It does not take it away instantly. It makes it manageable. When I read, I choose images like this because they are practical. Mercy is not a high theory tonight. Mercy is a cup set down where hands are trembling. Mercy is a blanket smoothed across the knees of someone who cannot sleep. Mercy meets a small need. And that small meeting changes the night. If fear presses like a cold wind, imagine a cloak offered at the shoulder. Let the cloak be thick enough to keep heat. Do not try to peel all the wind away. Accept the cloak. The act is simple and brave. Acceptance is not surrender to harm. It is choosing a first step in protection. The body relaxes when it feels sheltered. I offer a short practice to hold in the valley. Rest the fingertips on the thigh. With each out-breath, name a single soft phrase. Mine is. You are not alone. Keep it brief. Let the phrase ride the air out. Repeat 3 times. The phrase does not fix the whole valley. It colors the next breath. It is a tiny rope back to calm when thought drifts into panic. When memories come sharp in the dark, give them a place on the bedside table in the imagination. Pick one memory and write its name on a small slip of paper inside the mind. Fold it once. Lay it down. A steady hand lifts and sets it where it can be seen without being carried. This simple act shifts the weight from tight muscles to a watched object. The body registers the transfer and loosens slightly. I do not ask for great answers tonight. The valley often resists tidy fixes. Instead, I read words that promise presence. Presence quiets the drum of possibility by being real. It does not demand proofs. Its proof is the light and the hand and the table where burdens are put. Those are the small signs that reassure. If guilt sits in the night like an old stone, meet it gently. Do not grind the stone with arguments. Stroke the thought once and place it among the other objects on the little table. Offer a short prayer in the mind, a single line, asking for help to do better tomorrow. Say it softly, and let silence be the rest of the sentence. The prayer is not performance. It is a quiet giving. There is room in the valley for grief and for small joys. A neighbor's brief kindness can be as holy as an answered prayer. A stranger handing over bread by chance. A child's laugh through a thin wall. These are small mercies. Let them sit beside the pain. Do not force a balance. Simply allow both to be true at once. When the night grows long, anchor to a single action you will take tomorrow. Make it tiny. A quick goal. A short walk. One sentence written. The promise of an action that is possible gives the mind a place to put restless energy. It narrows the list of possible catastrophes into a single, manageable movement. That hearing of a plan calms the nervous system. I read a passage that shows a light held low and a hand that steadies. The scene is not theatrical. It is humble, almost domestic. A light on a porch, a hand on an elbow. That is the picture I hold up. The message is plain. In the valley there is company. The company is consistent, not spectacular. It arrives where the feet meet difficulty and helps with a step. If sleep resists in the valley, remember that rest is broader than sleep. Rest can be a quiet listening. It can be the soft closing of eyes while the breath keeps time. Rest can be being still enough to let mercy come near. These small rests accumulate. They are healing, even without full sleep. Sometimes the valley is a long, low road that goes on for months. For such a stretch, choose a phrase to carry for the week. Keep it to 2 words. Place it like a small pebble in a pocket of the mind. Mine is steady hand. Repeat it in brief moments. The phrase acts as a seamstress's stitch, holding fabric together until more mending is possible. When panic rises, do not argue. Name it as weather. Let it pass like a storm that pounds the roof and moves on. Anchor with breath and the small phrase. If needed, call a friend with compassionate ears. A voice on the other end can be a lamp. The presence of someone who listens is a practical mercy. I close this part with an image I like to carry into the next page. Picture a narrow path climbing from a valley to a gentle ridge. At the ridge, the sky is not suddenly changed. The light is softer. The steps are still needed. But the view opens just enough to show the next stretch. That ridge is not the end. It is a place to rest briefly and to see the direction. Hold that ridge in your mind. Feel the chest widen a fraction. Imagine the hand that has walked beside you, smoothing a small map. Keep your palm there. Breathe in slowly and let the out-breath say the short phrase you have chosen. The valley remains present. But there is now a hint of way forward. The next part will be a slow journey. We will imagine walking from the valley toward a wider peace. The images will be gentle. The steps will be small and steady. For now, let the lamp on the bedside table be your light. Let the breath be your guide. Rest enough to meet the morning. I fold the page closed with that small "Je promise." I set the book on my knee and let my hands rest there. The lamp keeps its small circle. The room listens. Tonight, I ask us to spend a quiet moment in thanks. Not a long litany. Not a list that must be perfect. A few small things, named gently. The aim is to slow the chest and to settle the heart. Breathe with me. Inhale slowly. Count 3 in the mind. Hold for a soft beat. Exhale and feel the shoulders drop. Again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Let the breathing be the frame for this time of gratitude. First, name one safe thing from today. Speak it inwardly. It might be a sheltered step, a conversation that ended without harm, a clear sky on a short walk. It could be the sight of a door that closed when it should. Say the single thing once. Let the word sit in the chest like a small stone. The stone is warm. It weighs in a helpful way. Next, hold the safety that watched over you. Think of a steady presence that kept watch. Picture that presence as a soft lamp at the edge of the bed. Not a glare, but a circle that makes one more step visible. The lamp might be the hand of God. a neighbor's ready kindness, the quiet competence of a doctor, a friend who listened, or the simple steadiness of your own breath. Call it what feels true. Let that presence be companion to the safe thing you named. Now, choose one small mercy from the day. Mercy often arrives thin and ordinary. A cup that was warm in cold hands. A note left without fanfare. A bird that sang while you waited. A neighbor passing a loaf. Pick one and let it warm the mind. Do not try to make it larger than it is. Small mercies are enough. They stack silently and steady the night. Breathe in on the mercy. Hold it lightly. Exhale and say thank you. Quietly. In the mind, let the thanks be brief and honest. One small thank you is sufficient. The act is not a ritual of duty. It is a practice that softens the muscles that hold tight. If fear keeps nodding toward the name of something lost or threatened, name that fear too. Give it one short word. Placing the fear in view weakens its power to multiply. Put it beside the small mercy on the bedside table of the mind. See both things there. They do not cancel one another. They can sit together. Presence watches them both without alarm. I offer a soft exercise to make this gratitude live in the body. Rest one hand on the chest and one on the lap. Feel the warmth under the palm. Count a slow breath in for 3. Hold, exhale, and let a quiet phrase pass inwardly. Thank you for small mercy. Say it once more with the next out-breath. Keep the phrase short. 2 or 3 words fit easily into the rhythm of the breath. Let the phrase be a pebble to hold. If it helps, repeat the names differently. Name a person who protected the day. Name a small kindness you received. Name a simple comfort you almost missed. Each naming creates a tiny current of gratitude. The current does not rush to solve the long problems. It simply cools the fevered parts enough for sleep to return. Remember that gratitude is not a demand to feel fine. If the chest still aches, gratitude can be a small hand that steadies the tremor. It does not erase the ache. It gives a place for tenderness to rest beside sorrow. Think of 2 cups on a table. One holds what is broken. The other holds warm water. Both are real. Both are needed. I read now a short line from a passage I return to often. It speaks of being watched and kept. I do not press it into a weighty sermon. I let it be a simple lamp. The lamp says you are not abandoned in the dark. Hear that sentence slowly. Let it settle against the ribs like a careful hand. If naming feels empty, start smaller. Name the sound nearest the ear. Name the small movement of the breath. Name the weight of the blanket. Gratitude sometimes begins with the tiny and obvious. The small things are faithful. They act like pebbles that mark a path through a dim wood. For those who carry the worry of another person's safety, hold that person in the mind and breathe for them. Pray or wish for protection with the same short breaths. Do not try to fix outcomes. Offer the image of a watchful hand laid gently across their shoulder. Let that image be a place to breathe into. One small breath for a person is a real aid in the midnight hours. If guilt stands near and says that gratitude feels like forgetting, answer it with a different truth. Gratitude does not denude error. It does not pretend. Pain does not exist. It simply makes room for mercy to come alongside it. Picture a table where you set down both regret and a tiny candle of thanks. The candle does not make the regret vanish. It makes the table brighter so both can be seen and tended. Now place one practical intention for tomorrow beside the things on the table. Keep it small and doable. A single short phone call, a 5-minute walk, a note sent. The presence of a small plan helps the active mind let go for the night. It reduces the anxiety that says it must hold everything awake. Take another slow breath. With the in-breath, gather the safe things. With the out-breath, say, "Thank you." Let the sound be silent if it helps. Let it be a seed dropped into soft soil. The seed will not sprout on command. It only needs the quiet to begin. I give a short blessing in the hush. May the safety you know sit near your pillow. May the mercies of this day find a place at your bedside. May the presence that watches be close enough to steady a hand and warm a cheek. Let hope rest small and sure in the heart. If tears come now, let them pass. Tears are part of gratitude and part of sorrow. They clear the lens. They make room for gentler things. If a smile comes, allow it. Both are welcome in the quiet. Hold one phrase to carry into sleep. Keep it simple. Mine is this: thank you. Steady hand. Say it inwardly, once or twice, with a long out breath. Let the phrase be a small rope that tethers the mind when it wants to drift into worry. Before I close this short time, lay the palms together and press lightly. Feel the small warmth where skin meets skin. Offer one last silent word of thanks for the day, as it was. If the day held blessing and ache, thank for both in a single breath. The combined thanks is honest and whole. I will not hurry the closing. Take one final long breath with me now. Inhale fully. Hold a soft beat. Exhale and release a gentle sigh. Notice how the chest loosens a fraction. Notice how the eyelids feel heavier. The lamp keeps its small watch. I set the book down for a few quiet moments. The gratitude we give tonight is a gentle work. It will not complete every repair. It will, however, make the hands less clenched. It will let mercy come near enough to matter. Rest in that nearness. Let hope take its seat by the bedside. When I turn the page, we will move forward slowly. For now, keep the small lamp of gratitude close. Let it warm the night and steady the steps toward sleep. The room is still. The presence is near. The day's mercies will keep. The next part will come when the breath and the lamp say it is right. I close the book gently and let the lamp keep its small circle of light. The room is quiet. My voice is low and steady. I speak now as one who reads the Bible to you before sleep. I have kept my pace slow. I have kept my tone kind. The hour we shared is a careful thing. I do not rush the ending. Take a breath with me. Inhale slow and full. Hold for a soft beat. Exhale and feel the shoulders melt a little. Stay with that breathing for a few moments. Let the rhythm make the body a little more pliant. Let the chest loosen its tight grips. Breathe without hurry. The breath is a guide home. Tonight we gathered small things. We named one mercy. We set one worry down. We held a single phrase like a warm pebble. These are small acts. They do their work in gentle measures. They do not demand grand change. They invite a quiet shifting. They ask the nervous system to accept a safer tempo. They ask the heart to receive care. If a heavy place is still with you, leave room for it. Do not shame its presence. Name it once. Place it on the inner table we imagined. Watch it rest. Let the hand that receives be steady and kind. The act of placing is itself an ease. It is an honest work. It does not pretend the thing is gone. It only changes who carries it for now. I keep the lamp near. I keep the book within reach. I stay by the bedside in this imagining. My role is small. I read. I offer pictures. I invite breath. I speak a short prayer now. The prayer is simple. It is not a long argument. It is an offering of the night. Lord of the bedside. You know the soft places and the raw ones. You know the small fears and the wide ones. I bring before you the thin burdens we named this evening. I lay them down with a quiet hand. Receive them kindly. Tend them without spectacle. Watch the edges where sorrow clings. Ease them gently. For those who carry anxiety that loops and makes rest hard, give a slow mercy. Let the mind find a thinner rhythm. Let the breath become a friend. Make the heart feel the nearness of comfort without press. Calm the racing and steady the thought. Grant the tidy ease that comes not from answers, but from a presence that watches. For those who shoulder regret and cannot let go, give a small horizon. Do not take away honest shame without care. Instead, offer the warmth of a hand that helps undo what can be undone. Teach the heart how to begin again with small steps. Let forgiveness in der Leidenschaft, untying the knots one at a time. For those who wait for news or fear for loved ones, keep a watch over the waiting. Let clarity come when it must. Let patience be a companion that sits by the window. Provide small signs of care, short messages. Steady voices. Gentle hands. When the night presses, let a quiet assurance hold the place between worry and hope. For those who nurse deep grief, hold that grief like a fragile thing that needs tending. Do not demand quick recovery. Let memory and tears be allowed. Make rest possible even when sorrow lingers. Surround the aching places with a tenderness that does not rush to fix, but does not abandon either. Bless the body. Ease the tight jaw. Soften the shoulders. Let the neck release its guard. Teach the muscles that the hour is safe to let go. Move slowly through the system so no sudden shock arrives. Let the nerves accept a gentle tempo. Let the pulse find a simpler count. Let sleep come when it is ready. Bless the mind. Quiet the worry that multiplies in the dark. Give the gift of one small thought at a time. Teach the mind to return to breath, to phrase, to the light on the bedside table when plans press to be made. Give a single, tiny step to hold until morning. Make that step enough for now. Bless the spirit. Lay a soft hand on the places that ache beneath language. Bring a sense of company, so none must feel wholly alone. Let mercy be present in little and practical ways. Let hope arrive like a neighbor, with bread ordinary, warm, and enough to steady the night. I ask these things not for drama. I ask them as one who sees the small needs of late hours. The prayer is a steady asking. It trusts that small mercies are real, and that steady presence works its slow repairs. I do not ask for sudden transformation tonight. I ask for proximate mercy. I ask for hands that tend. I ask for light that shows the next sure step. If you pray differently, make these words your own in your own way. If you do not use words, let the silence itself be the prayer. A still breath, offered with honest longing, is a prayer too. The shape matters less than the opening of the heart to receive care. I invite a brief breathing practice as part of this closing. Breathe in for 4 quiet counts. Hold without strain for 2. Exhale for 6. Long and easy. Repeat this rhythm 3 times. With each out-breath, imagine a small worry lifting and setting down on the bedside table. Watch the table, hold it. Feel another inch of room open in the chest. Now place a hand gently over the heart. Rest it there. Feel the warmth of your palm. Let that warmth be a small sign that you are held. If it helps, name one word in the mind: peace, rest, mercy, watchful. Let the single word ride the out-breath. Keep it brief. Let it steady the attention. I offer a short blessing in a voice that stays near. Receive it if you wish. Let it rest against the ribs like a soft cloth. May the night give you the rest your body needs. May the mind find small pockets of quiet. May sorrow be met with mercy. May fear be steadied by a kind presence. May hope come in small measures and stay long enough to warm you. May Christ's tender care be near, in ways you can feel. May the gentle hand of God watch over the sleeping and the waking. May you be kept in a safe space until the morning light returns. I do not command the night to heal instantly. I simply place these wishes and leave them where they can do their quiet work. The blessing is both invitation and protection. It asks for shelter and steadiness that do not rely on our strength alone. Before we part, I give a practical word. If sleep does not come at once, do not add a harsh inner voice. Return to the breathing. Return to the single word. Notice the small sounds, the lamp's faint hum, the creak of wood, the distant car. Let these be companions rather than enemies. Keep the hands soft. Let the jaw relax. Let the eyes rest even if sleep is slow. If tears come, let them pass without shame. If laughter slips out quietly, let it be light. Both cleanse and ease. Both are part of honest nights. The presence we ask for in the prayer holds both. I will stay near in this imagining until you need no further word. My reading voice rests. The book closes softly. The lamp dims only a little. We have moved through a slow map tonight. We have named burdens and mercies. We have practiced small returns to breath. We have invited a steady kindness into the room. Keep one small phrase with you as you settle more deeply. Choose one that fits the night. Make it simple. Mine is, you are watched. Say it once, or hold it. like a pebble. Let it be near when the dark feels too large. Let it tether the mind to a kinder reality. Now, one last breath together. Inhale fully and gently. Hold a soft moment. Exhale slowly and release a small sigh. Let the body accept that ease. Let the mind slide into the quiet. Let the evening rest where it must. I close with a final benediction. May God's peace meet you at the edge of sleep. May mercy tend the places that ache. May hope take a small seat by your pillow. May your night be guarded and gentle. May morning find you steadied and blessed. Go now into rest with kindness toward yourself. You are not alone. I lay the book down. The lamp keeps its small watch. The hush settles like a soft cloth. Sleep. When it comes, be quiet and healing. I will read again another night, with the same slow care. Until then, rest in that steady presence. Good night. I sit with the book open one last time. The lamp throws a soft pool of light across the quilt. The room is still. The hour is near its edge. My voice keeps a quiet rhythm. I read not to finish, but to settle. Listen with the ears you have. Follow a single slow sound. Let the sound be the turning of a page. Let it be the quiet of breath moving in and out. The small noises of the room are companions now. They do not demand answers. They mark time kindly. Tonight I offer a short map for gentle rest. It is simple. It has 3 small marks. They are not rules. They are soft pointers for the mind when it grows busy. First, keep something near that reminds you to slow. It can be a small stone, a ring, a folded note. Touch it once. Feel its texture. Let that touch be a signal. When hands find the signal, the body remembers a slower pace. Do not make the object a test. Let it be a friendly signpost. Second, choose one tiny promise you can make to yourself for the morning. Make it no larger than 5 minutes. A phone call to a friend, a short walk outside, a single sentence to write. The promise is a small cord tied to action. It takes the mind off rehearsing every possible outcome. It gives worry a place to sit. It keeps the rest of the night for breathing. Third, keep an image that invites calm, not a full story. A single line of picture light on a windowsill, warm hands holding a cup, a narrow path with one lantern. Bring that image back when thoughts begin to race. Let it sit in the middle of the chest like a tiny warm stone. The image asks nothing dramatic. It simply steadies the eye of the mind. I read a brief selection now, chosen for its plain comfort. The words speak of a presence that comes close in ordinary ways. It watches small steps. It offers help that can be felt. The line is short. It does not weigh the night down. It lays a soft hand where the shoulder aches. Do not feel pushed to respond with big words. A small inward nod is enough. A silent yes. A breath that lengthens a fraction. These tiny gestures are real. They open the chest to a calm that works slowly. If heaviness rises, meet it with a practical kindness. Fold the blanket nearer. Ease the pillow to the neck. Press the heels gently into the mattress to feel firm ground. These small acts tell the nervous system that a safe setting exists. The body reads them as permission to lower shields. When memories press and loop, give them a short name. Say it once in the mind. Place the named thing on an imagined shelf beside the bed. Do not argue with it. Do not make it the evening's main character. Let it be a visible object that can be looked at and then allowed to rest. Naming helps the mind stop feeding the loop. If forgiveness is waiting in the chest, do the smallest thing tonight. Speak one short, honest line inwardly. It need not be a lecture. It can be a single breath that loosens a grip. Sometimes the first and only step a person can take at midnight is a whisper to themselves, "I will try." That whisper can begin a slow mending. For those who keep watch over others, try a tiny ritual of placing care into another pair of hands. Imagine handing the worry like a small parcel to someone steady. Describe the parcel in a few gentle words and watch it change shape as it is received. The act of offering does not remove responsibility. It moves a burden into a place where new eyes can tend it. I do not offer complicated theology tonight. I speak of a presence who comes in quiet ways. That presence is near in the small details of life. It is in the neighbor's loaf, the warm cat at the feet, the steady voice on the other end of the line. These ordinarinesses are channels for comfort. They are ways mercy and hope find us without fanfare. If prayer seems right, keep it short. A line that fits the breath, a soft asking for help to rest, a quick thanks for one small mercy. Let the words be a doorway rather than a command. Speak them once, then sit in the answer as if in a warm chair. The answer often looks different than expected. It may be a slower pulse, a loosened jaw, a small softening behind the ribs. Now practice a gentle breathing pattern that is easy to follow while half asleep. Inhale through the nose for 3 slow counts. Hold for a count of quiet. Exhale through the mouth for 5 even counts. Repeat 2 more times. On each out-breath, picture a thin ribbon of tension sliding off the shoulders and into the mattress. Watch how the hands unclench a little with each ribbon. If tears come, let them move. They are honest movers. They do not always come with violent sobs. Sometimes they come as a single wet line that cools the face. Let them be. If laughter slips out unexpectedly, receive it as light. Both shed weight and make room. Keep one phrase inward for tonight. Choose something short and steady. Mine is a small, tender sentence, held and held again. Say it once in rhythm with the out-breath. Let the words be a small rope that can be felt but not pulled. Do not turn the phrase into a mantra that must be perfect. Let it simply be a companion. I set down a brief benediction now. It is not ornate. It stays close and practical. May the skin of your shoulders feel its warmth. May the jaw soften. May the neck ease. May sleep come slow or come in visits. May rest that is not sleep still do its work. May mercy be near in small, ordinary ways. May a steady hope sit quietly by your pillow. Not shouting, only present. If the night stretches and answers do not come, do not grow harsh with yourself. Rest is not proof of faith. Rest is a gift. It is lawful to accept it without argument. Keep to the small practices. Touch the chosen object. Say the short promise for tomorrow. Bring the image back when the mind goes wandering. Little habits gather into a gentler life. I stay a while longer in the imagining. My hand rests on the book. The lamp hums low. The house breathes its slow sounds. I do not linger to make speech. I linger to make company. A steady presence is sometimes nothing more than a kept watch. When sleep arrives, may it be kind. If it does not, let the night still be kind to you. Use the quiet to listen. Use it to notice small mercies that arrive like pebbles at the feet of a tired road. Collect one. Keep it in the pocket of the heart. Now take a last long breath with me. Fill the lungs slowly. Hold without strain. Release and let out a soft sound if it helps. Feel the collarbones drop. Notice the hands relax. Let the eyelids close when they will. I close the book gently. The light will remain low a little longer. The hush is not empty. It holds memory, small mercy, and the promise of a morning that comes, as always, with new light. Go into the night with a kind heart toward yourself. Keep the small phrase, the tiny promise, and the touchstone close. Let hope bend its quiet ear toward you. Let tenderness find a way in. Good night.